This is the regular meeting of the Southfield City Council, March 24th. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Thank you, Council President. Councilwoman Banks.
Present.
Councilman Brightwell. Here. Councilman Cruz. Councilwoman Haynes.
Present.
Councilman Hicks.
Present.
Councilwoman Hogue.
Here.
Council President Mandelbaum.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. If everyone can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we begin, I just want to make a public service announcement. One of the reasons we were delayed, I was in the hall. We had a number of individuals who want to speak this evening on a proposed rezoning of a oil change business. I just want to let everyone know that that is not on our agenda this evening. If you have signed up, you are still welcome to speak, but there were some individuals who were under the impression that it was on our agenda this evening. It is still going through the Planning Commission, and it should come back to us probably April 21st or 28th at our meeting. We don't know when. It depends on if the Planning Department has finished its due diligence to make a recommendation to Council. But if you have signed up, we will allow you to speak. I just want to set that expectation. Thank you. All right. Getting into our agenda, we have one appointment, a reappointment this evening to our Public Arts Commission. Councilman Brightwell. Is Ms. Malinsky here for her reappointment? Okay.
But let me make one correction in her appointment date.
Yes.
Can he come back up to?
So we can hear you in the microphone, please.
There's a correction in the appointment date and also the expiration date for Mrs. Malinsky appointment to the Public Art Commission. It is a 3-year appointment, and it will carry through February 22 of 2028. The paperwork indicated it would expire in March 24 of 2028, but there was a typo in the developing the documentation. Thank you. So this will be corrected in the official record of the city record. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we approve the reappointment to the Public Arts Commission for Ms. Yvonne Malinsky.
Support.
It has been moved by Councilwoman Hogue, supported by Councilwoman Banks, to approve the reappointment of the Public Arts Commission of Yvonne Malinsky with a term expiration of 2/22/28. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, now we move into the presentations portion of our meeting. And our first presentation is a presentation of a proclamation by our state legislators recognizing our retired Fire Chief, Johnny Menifee.
Thank you, Council. It's a pleasure for us to be here on what we can say is a bittersweet occasion. I've relied on this guy for a long time, not just as my fire chief and for the welfare and well-being of our citizens here in Southfield, but as an advisor to me in Lansing. So we all know Johnny Menifee is retiring as chief of our fire department. What you may or may not know that he served as president of the Michigan Fire Chiefs Association. So that's above and beyond just the role of a fire chief. He came to Lansing, lobbied for fire services and support for our emergency personnel, came in and out of my office very frequently throughout my term as state senator. I know Representative Hoskins had the same interactions with him. But it was also a guide to me on the many bills that came before Lansing impacting fire safety, fire service, and emergency personnel. So to have Johnny Menifee on my speed dial was a value added, was an asset to me as state senator for this community. So we are saddened to lose you as our fire chief as you deservedly go into retirement. I will not lose your phone number though, and will continue to call you and call upon you as these very complicated issues come before us in the legislature. So I'll turn it over to Rep. Hoskins before we give our little presentation here.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Moss. And, I just will add that it has been such a pleasure and a privilege to be able to work with Johnny Menifee, both serving on the council as well as in Lansing. He's always, just like Senator Moss said, he's always been someone I could reach out to be able to answer questions. It's been so great to be able to really rely on his knowledge on a number of things that have come up in Lansing. There have been a number of bills that have really dealing with public safety that I have been able to reach out to Chief Menifee and be able to get those answers and be able to really rely on him as truly a subject matter expert on this. And it's great to see so much how much respect he has also throughout the state of Michigan. He is, like Senator Moss outlined, one of the leaders in this field, and it's something that we should be proud of here in Southfield, that we have such great leaders in public safety and public service serving our community. And so that's why Senator Moss and I are so happy to be able to do what we're going to do in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, and just to put a fine point on this, a Southfield career has really had an impact throughout the entire state. Johnny comes into my office frequently with fire chiefs from other communities who speak so highly of him and are also benefiting from his experience. So we are proud of our Southfield homegrown talent here and wish you the best in your retirement. So we missed the farewell lunch the other day because it was on a Thursday and we were in Lansing. But I appreciate the council president for allowing us to speak before the residents here and before our chief as we present you with a tribute from the legislature. I won't read it all, but it is to extend best wishes to Chief Johnny L. Menifee upon his retirement from the Southfield Fire Department. Over his 30-year career, he has exemplified the highest standards of leadership. In special tribute, this document is signed in dedication to express our gratitude for Chief Menifee's leadership and to thank him for his longtime service to the city of Southfield. We wish him and his family, his wife here, health and happiness as he begins a well-deserved retirement. This is signed by me. This is signed by our 3 legislators who represent the city of Southfield, by our Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist, and by our Governor of the state of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. And we want to present it to you.
Chief, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, hey, I'd just like to say thank you. I want to let you know I'm still the president of the Michigan Chiefs, so I will still be in Lansing. I'll still be bugging you and still, fighting for firefighter safety issues. So I'll be seeing you both real soon up in Lansing. But once again, I wanted to thank the city of Southfield for allowing me, for Mr. Zorn taking a chance on a young man and giving him a tremendous opportunity. Hope I didn't disappoint you with that, but it's been an honor and a privilege to just serve this city. And I want to thank council for always supporting the fire department and really providing us with the equipment and tools that we've needed to be able to do our job. So, and from the citizens and the residents and the business partners, I want to thank you. You've been a lovely family to work with, and I couldn't ask for a better career and a way to go out. So I thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilman Hicks?
Senator Moss and Rep. Hoskins, thank you for acknowledging Chief. I'm still not used to seeing him in a suit. You're looking like a pastor, Chief. You probably have your uniform underneath there, like Superman, right? But we appreciate you, and with all sincerity and humility, thank you for all that you've done and you do for us.
Mr. President, I think we also need to acknowledge his wife.
Yes.
Please, Ms. Paula Tucker.
Yay, Paula.
Yes. Yes, who's always supporting, for her allowing you, giving you to us. So we thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to also add that when I found out you were having the party, I was out of town, so I couldn't make it. I was very disappointed. I usually make everything, and I'm like, I could not believe I'm going to miss this. But I want to say thank you. Your leadership really mattered, and your friendship, and just the overall posture, how you carried yourself in this community. Whoever comes in that spot is going to have some big shoes to fill, and I'm sure you're going to give them some good tips. I hope they listen. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and I admire you as a person as well. And thank you to your lovely wife for being right by your side, and I know that she had a major input in that as well. Thank you.
Good thing it's on tape. Cable 15.
Well, Chief, I definitely appreciate it. Since I've been on council, you've been very responsive, you're very knowledgeable, and I obviously ask some simple mundane questions like, what does it mean when you have fiber along fire? Those little simple things. I definitely appreciate you, and you've been very, as a department head, you've been very responsive, and you've been very productive. I just appreciate you, and I hate to see you go, but, obviously, life gets in the way sometimes. And thank you very much for just being you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Banks?
Thank you. Chief, I want to echo everything that my colleagues have said. To our Senator and State Representative, thank you for recognizing and acknowledging him in Lansing. Chief, while we're going to miss you, I wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. May you and your wife together experience fun, joy, a lot of laughter, and travel together. And we're here, and I know that if we have any questions, we can always call upon you. So, thank you.
Chief, you're my guy. When I first got on council, you reached out to me, let me know if there's anything I needed. You will be there, and you have been every step of the way. But on top of that, you are one of the best chiefs ever in the world. I mean, you just done a great job, and we're going to really miss you. I know I will, but, at the same time, as I echo my colleagues here, really, it's time for you to be able to just enjoy your life and enjoy your wife. So, we'll be seeing each other, I'm sure, along the way, man. So, but thank you for your service and your time and everything. It's been well appreciated.
All right. Thank you. And then certainly, we want to, again, thank you for your years of service and dedication to the city. There's not much more I can say that my colleagues haven't said, but we do appreciate it. And then for those who are at home or here in the audience, if you want to watch all the speeches made at his retirement party, it is airing on the Southfield cable station, Southfield Cable 15 on YouTube and on the city's website. And you could hear some great stories and remarks from his family, friends, city officials, and the like. So again, thank you very much. We know that you're going to be staying close by to help us get through the next few months, so we do appreciate that, and we always look to you for wisdom when it comes to firefighter operations. So thank you very much. Mr. Zorn. Wait, we got one more.
Mr. President, I'd be remiss on behalf of myself and the rest of the administrative team, our managers and directors. Johnny's been a joy to work with and part of an outstanding team, and I appreciate his leadership, and I incredibly value his friendship and the guidance he's provided all of us and myself as well. Thank you, and the best to you, Chief Benefi, Johnny, and your family. And it's been, I can't believe how quickly the time has flown. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we will have our state legislators stay up here so they can talk to us about road funding.
Sure. We'll start off with some other things, and then we'll come back to road funding. But we wanted to at least give a legislative update as we started the new term in Lansing. I'm in the middle of my final 4-year term as state senator for our community. Representative Hoskins has begun a new term. Obviously, some of the dynamics in Lansing have shifted, which we can talk about. But as you might recall, we had a very busy and accomplished last session. We started right out the gate by passing some consequential bills that hadn't been heard or vetted or seen for the last 40 years, but that activists and really community members needed and pushed for. So we started off by really returning $1 billion in tax relief to our residents. That was in the form of repealing the senior pension tax for once and for all, and by boosting the earned income tax credit. So that is a working families tax credit that many people in our community will utilize as they're finalizing this tax season. We also restored labor union rights here in the state of Michigan. I know how important that is to our community here. We protected individual freedom by both protecting reproductive care in our state law and adding more protections in our Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. And then also, we passed the first gun safety bills in a generation. As we've seen this plague, we can applaud for that. As we've seen this plague of mass shooting and gun violence impact all of our communities, we ensured that we are putting the tools in place to mitigate some of these crises. Then we went to a budget season where we budgeted for really the first time with a lens of equity and lifted up communities that had not gotten the past support in a very long time. I think one of our biggest achievements in both our budget in 2023 and 2024 was implementing free lunch and free meals for all students, for all public students here in the state of Michigan. I know what a relief that has been to parents in our community and to our school district. And we're very proud to support our learners. We know that you can't really learn when you're sitting in a classroom hungry. And so we wanted to make sure that we had full minds and full bellies in those classrooms. And then as the year progressed, we, at least as chairman of the Senate Elections Committee, we expanded voting access. We reduced barriers to voting. We implemented the ballot proposal that allowed for the successful 9 days of early voting, Madam Clerk, that you were watching over and helping to administer, and expanded voting access and voting rights here in our state, which we're really proud of. And then we headed into a lame duck session that was, we had a lot of high hopes that we would get a lot done, and the reality is that we did not achieve as much as we wanted to achieve. I've had several bills that made it out of the Senate, sat in the House. Representative Hoskins advocated for them, but they just didn't make it past the finish line. So we're starting this year, picking up where we left off in December and reintroducing some major reforms that we're very passionate about. But I'll turn it over to Rep. Hoskins, who will talk about it a little bit more.
So, as Senator Moss kind of highlighted, we are in a different world now in the Michigan House of Representatives. I last term, I had the privilege of chairing the House Economic Development and Small Business Committee, where we were able to do a number of great things around helping businesses around the state, as particularly businesses of color. That was something that we really focused on last term. For example, being able to give $10 million. We put something in the budget to give $10 million for minority businesses. I had legislation that helped the smallest of businesses be able to get a start here in Michigan. We also had a huge focus on housing last term, as there was a housing subcommittee within my committee, and we certainly had a huge focus on that. Also in the budget, we had a housing community and development fund, which was $50 million in perpetuity for affordable housing here in the state. A number of great things that we did last term, as Senator Moss kind of highlighted, but this term is a little different. I am not chairing a committee anymore, unfortunately. I serve on two committees now. One is serve as the highest ranking Democrat on the Finance Committee, which deals with taxation here in the state. I also serve on the Health Policy Committee, a very important committee to be on, as hospitals. Hospitals are the largest employer in my district, and also there's a lot of disparities that I certainly want to be able to address during my time on that committee. But also, we have new leadership, and they have created certainly a different dynamic that both myself and Senator Moss are trying to grapple with. I just want to highlight kind of one of the things that came out is, should we go into the budget right now? Or? So, one of the things that we are getting used to in this new dynamic is sometimes our new speaker will bring things up, and we are working through why he's doing this, how he's doing this, for what purpose, and I can't think of anything better than the budget that the speaker proposed. We were given about 20 minutes to go over what we were told at first were shell bills to start the budget process. And shell bills are just bills that, as we're starting the budget process, they usually are zeroed out. So eventually you can put funding into the bills and be able to have them negotiated and eventually come out with a budget. And it turns out it was not a shell bill. It was a budget that in fact cut 92% of all funding from the state. So all the things that I was just talking about, housing and community development fund, money for minority businesses, free school, free breakfast and lunch in schools, cutting whole departments, all that came up and was voted out of the House. Of course, that legislation will be stopped in the Senate, and the governor, of course, will not sign it. But it just kind of highlighted where we are now in a new dynamic in Lansing, and really something that we are going to be trying to guard against as we are going through a budget process. I think the reason why that was even brought up is because I think there is, our budget is due October 1st, and I think we're going to be fighting out what's going to be in that budget, what we're going to be including. And I will also bring that up, even as we're deciding and having negotiations and talking about what's going to be in the budget, we still, Senator Moss and I and Representative Steckloff and Representative Price, we are still going to be fighting for those priorities that we have always fought for the city of Southfield. We've been able to get a number of things in the budget for the city, particularly when it comes to roads, funding for Mount Vernon, funding for North Park, funding for Providence, funding for Winchester. It's nice to know there's so many things that we've been able to get funding for that I can't keep them all, I can't remember them all. But we're going to be continuing to do that as we go through this process. I know that my office will eventually be reaching out to get budget requests from the city. And we'll be working with our working with Senator Moss's team, as well as Representative Steckloff and Representative Price on it. But I just want to highlight that because that is some of the things that we're dealing out, and we also saw that as we get into a discussion about road funding. We kind of saw that last week as well, and I don't know if you want to take that.
Sure. So the reality is that we don't have enough money to fix the roads, and you can't cut your way in the budget to the amount of money that's needed annually, every year, year after year, to fix our roads. It's going to cost about $4 billion each year in new revenue to create a road funding plan. The city here, when I was on council, passed a plan, or the voters actually passed a plan 10 years ago that lasted for 10 years and is now set to close out, that was going to touch every neighborhood road in the community. That's because voters in this community recognize that there needs to be more investment in our roads. Unfortunately, I think, maybe Rep. Hoskins buried the lead. There's a Republican majority now in the Michigan House of Representatives, not a Democratic majority. And so the Republican majority in the House, I serve as a Democrat in the Democratic majority in the Senate, but the Republican majority in the House thinks you can cut your way to the amount of dollars that's needed in road funding. So they passed a plan that began that conversation, shifting some taxes around, which might make sense, but also predicating the road plan on future unspecified cuts to the budget. So I absolutely want to deliver more funding in roads, more road funding to our community, but not on the backs of our residents, not on the other things that they depend upon, our social services, our health services. So the conversation is ongoing, figuring out, is it a series of cuts, but what are the series of revenues that we need to bring into the state? Now, we don't have to raise taxes on working people to do it, and I don't think that is the solution. But there can be precise ways to raise revenues that haven't been raised in a while in different sectors of our economy that can bring in the money needed. So we're early in this conversation about road funding, but we recognize that it's a crisis, and we recognize that all hands need to be on deck in Lansing to provide the solution. Cannot be a cuts-only solution. That's the only plan on the table. We're going to figure out in our budget process how we can raise the revenue to fix our roads.
And I'll say too that there is a conversation happening around road funding, and one of the things that I'm really excited about is there's been a robust conversation around funding for neighborhood roads. I think that is something that I know certainly since I have been in this role, I've been on council, even before I was on council, that is something that I've heard about. I know Senator Moss has always heard about those local neighborhood roads that need funding. And I think there's been a very robust conversation in Lansing this term, and I think we might be onto something about how do we fund our local neighborhood roads. And so, as Senator Moss said, this is something that is an ongoing conversation. And Representative Steckloff is actually one of the people who's been working very hard to find solutions to be able to fund our roads here in Michigan. And so I'm hoping that at some point we'll be able to give you another update on the progress of road funding here in the state.
Thank you. Councilman Hicks?
Thank you for the update, gentlemen. Are there any discussions in Lansing based on the abundance of activity that's happening in D.C.? Are you proactively looking at impacts to the state if funding or lack of funding shifts to you all versus federal?
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos going on in Washington, and I don't even think they know what's going on all the time. I mean, the president will say one thing 1 hour, and will say a second thing a few hours later. There was a federal funding freeze, or at least something that was supposed to be a federal funding freeze. Federal funds make up 42% of our budget. If we froze those funds, that would impact real people. And even as it was being discussed, there were different entities and institutions that shut down for a few days. Head Start was not open because they did not know how they would be impacted by that federal funding freeze. And then the freeze was unfrozen. And then you have this discussion around tariffs. I can't even get into why we're going in a trade war with Canada. But every day it's a new thing, and there are tariffs, and then the tariffs are repealed, and then these tariffs are in place, but then these are repealed. So it's chaotic. and it leaves the rest of us kind of holding the bag. I will tell you, everything that he's done that has been deemed unlawful or unconstitutional, our Attorney General has been out front, on the front lines, taking him to court, and ensuring that these harmful executive orders don't impact people here. There's so many different pieces that are in litigation. But I'll tell you, it depends on people showing up and speaking out. Obviously, I think we're aligned with most of the people who live here in Southfield, and if people in Southfield are directly impacted, whether they are federal workers or veterans that are worried about offices and services being closed, or people worried about the future of Social Security and Medicare and access to Medicaid, we agree with those residents, but we also need to hear their stories. It is very impactful when people tell us directly how you will be impacted by the chaos that's coming in from Washington, D.C., so that you can give us the information to tell our colleagues from our district who's going to be impacted. So it's certainly important to oppose things that you disagree with, but also find those in government who support you so that we can uplift your stories and put a face to some of the harmful things that are coming in from D.C. But the long answer, or the short answer to your question, is 42% of our budget depends on federal funding. And if that's frozen completely, or bits and pieces are stopped or delayed, that's going to impact real people here in Southfield.
Thank you.
Councilman Cruz?
Yes, I have to, kind of just want to circle back around to the roads. And I was just curious, has the legislature been ever looked at or thought about tolls on the roads? And what's kind of the position there?
So other states around us have road tolls or toll roads. Michigan does not. There was kind of this school of thought that it's challenging to toll in Michigan because we're not really a pass-through state, because we're a peninsula state. We don't see the tolls from that drive-through traffic, but that is up for discussion to see if some of our most used thoroughfares, expressways, could be toll roads. And that is part of the discussion. We were talking about a feasibility study. How much would it bring in? And so it's up for discussion to figure out if that's part of the solution.
Curious, not asking for tolls, but
yeah,
just want to know.
It could be part of the solution. I'll tell you, without getting too much into the weeds, we have a gas tax. Our gas tax goes right towards our roads. We also have a sales tax. Just on anything, we have a sales tax. And we have a sales tax at the pump. The additional sales tax, in addition to that gas tax, that sales tax does not go to the roads. That goes to our local communities. That goes towards our schools. Just as sales tax on buying a shirt goes towards that in our budget. There is a thought to, instead of increasing the gas tax, to shift that sales tax revenue and put that right towards roads. But then there's a hole. The hole would be, well, where does that revenue that was supposed to go towards our cities and schools, how do we backfill it? So we're having all these conversations around shifting some funds, but there's a missing piece. We can't fill in potholes in the road by creating a pothole in our budget on other services that people depend on, social services, health services, housing services that people in our community depend upon. So again, there's no way to cut your way to the amount of road funding dollars that are needed to fix our roads. So we're trying to figure out where can we actually raise the revenue without impacting families here in Southfield. The governor had suggested potentially a taxation on Facebook ads, taxing the tech bros, and getting some of that revenue. I will tell you something that I introduced, because I'm trying to find a solution here too, is we have a new iGaming, internet gaming industry. That internet gaming industry was predicted to bring in $30 million of revenue annually for the industry. Instead, it has brought in $350 million of revenue annually for the industry. Can we find some ways to bring that revenue to our state, to either shore up our budget or to go towards roads? So we're trying to find out where are those pieces that we are missing opportunities for revenue to bring in the dollars needed to fix our roads. Honestly, this is my 11th year in the legislature. 11 years ago we were talking about this. It is tough. it is tough to get both parties in alignment on cuts and raising revenue. This is we're in the sweet spot now to have this discussion and hopefully get it done.
Thank you.
Councilman Brightwell?
I think you touched base on this, and but I'm looking for a solution. You know, obviously Washington, what goes on there. I wanted to find out how they impact, and you mentioned. So, just from a simple, what is the solution right now? And I get this question a lot, and they ask me, well, what can we do? I said, other than vote. You know, that's a solution. But what is you are right now in office, so what are you trying to do to counteract or make what's going on in Washington more livable during this period of time?
Yeah, you know, we're all watching Elon Musk, who nobody elected, kind of engage on all this government efficiency, so-called government efficiency. But on the front end, those are real people, dedicated workers in our federal government. And on the back end, providing real services that people depend upon. So this is really a chance for people in our community, if they're either impacted directly as federal workers or impacted directly by having cuts and losses to services they depend on. Veteran services, as you know, have been threatened and are on the line. It's an opportunity for people to speak up, show a face to, quote, government efficiency and how it is going to impact real people in our communities. So again, we are collecting stories from our office to complete that picture about the active harm that reducing services that people depend upon inflicts upon our community. Anything more to add?
Thank you.
All right, Council, any other comments? Thank you for being here. I know road funding as part of the overall budget is a small drop in the bucket, but I know that it's on most people's minds. I know as a council we hear from our residents all the time that we wish we could do more with road funding, especially for the neighborhood streets. So we're open to any solutions that you can come up with that can help trickle back down to the neighborhoods.
As Rep. Hoskins mentioned, and I know our city administrator knows, we've been able to help provide funding for our most urgent projects. So kind of outside of the road funding formula, Mr. Zorn has mentioned Mount Vernon's in bad shape. We got money for Mount Vernon. North Park was in bad shape. We got money for North Park. So we are trying to solve, and this is not a Band-Aid. These are total fixes to some of our worst roads. Unfortunately, how many lanes of mile roads? That's a lot to bring to Southfield when we're competing against 38 senators and 110 representatives. But we are doing our best to have our pulse on the ground to solve the most urgent road problems here in Southfield, outside of what we need to do to shore up a systemic new road funding formula.
But we are the center of it all. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. Everybody here agrees with that.
we have another question from...
Quick question. Do you encourage any of the residents to come where you are and speak out on some of these issues that you're presenting to as well? You know, I know they come here, but in Lansing?
Say that one more time.
Do you encourage any of the residents to come to Lansing and speak out on some of the issues that you are dealing with?
Oh, 100%. Please, like we welcome you coming up to Lansing and telling your stories, especially now we have a number. There's always events. There's always things that are coming, that are happening in Lansing about the current climate in the world. You also can come and join us too here in the area. We also have our community conversations, where you can, if you can't travel up to Lansing, we do typically do community conversations the fourth Monday of the month. 5:30 to 6:30 at the library.
Library in the meeting room, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This in April, typically right now is the fourth Monday of the month, so typically we'd be doing it right now.
But we're here.
Yeah,
Right.
but we're here talking to you lovely people. Right. But in April, we're actually not going to be doing it the fourth Monday. We're going to be doing it the third Monday.
Okay.
It's April 16th. whenever the third Monday is in April. But same time, at 5:30 to 6.
April 21st.
April 14th.
You said the third Monday?
Yeah, April 14th, so that'd actually be the second Monday.
Yeah, that's the second Monday.
April 14th, 5:30 to 6:30 at the Southfield Public Library. We'll be doing
Okay.
our community conversation there. And there you can also tell us any questions, concerns, any good things, bad things that are that you're seeing in the community. We're always here, and we can take those. If there are any concerns, we can always take those back to Lansing and be able to try and address them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Zorn?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to just thank the Senator Moss and Representative Hoskins. Later on this evening, we'll be presenting the Middle Point Brownfield Plan. I want to thank the Senator and Rep for the work they did on amending the transformational Brownfield tool that gave Southfield a much better chance of having access to those dollars. Historically, the dollars have gone to our large urban centers, Detroit and Grand Rapids in particular. The amendments that they were able to get through leveled the playing tools, leveled the tables so that those tools could be brought back to Southfield. And tonight you'll be considering a tool that brings $131 million into a project here in Southfield. And that wasn't available at Northland. They both heard us, and I appreciate the work. And when Jason was chairing the Economic Committee, the emphasis he put on housing for us in the administrative economic development world, those were tools we've been looking for years. So thank you very much. I'd be remiss not to just also thank our other two state reps, Representative Steckhoff and Representative Price, and a shout out for our lobbyist, Bill Zagman. He's one of the members of our team with government consultants, and an ally for my management team when we need something through the state. But these two gentlemen lead the way, and clearly, because of their ties here and the time at this dais, they understand what our needs are, and I'm grateful for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
we look forward to for you coming back and give us more updates, hopefully with buckets of money for the roads. So,
Of course.
all right, thank you. All right. Council, next we have a presentation on the Michigan Economic Development Corporation Patronicity crowdfunding campaign.
Good evening. I'm going to introduce this on behalf of the mayor because he's out of town. As council knows, we have been focusing on beautifying Greenfield Road between 8 and 9 Mile to augment and supplement all of the good work that's happening at Northland City Center. Recently, we completed a phased approach. We have 2 new gateway entrance signs, new banners and landscaping, and we've done this in partnership with our City of Oak Park. But now we realized we have this entrance with the spaghetti of highways, overpasses. It's dark, it's not well lit, it's not colorful. But this is a main entrance into the cities of Southfield, Oak Park, Detroit. It's an MDOT corridor that also is part of the 8 Mile Boulevard Association. And tonight, the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, in partnership with the cities of Southfield, Oak Park, and Detroit, launched their Let There Be Light Gateway crowdfunding campaign today to transform the 8 Mile Greenfield Gateway. The campaign aims to raise $50,000 through the Michigan-based crowdfunding platform Patronicity that will be matched dollar for dollar by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for an additional $50,000 if we meet our goal in the next 60 days. This campaign was launched today and will run through May 23rd, 2025. We are eligible for this grant funding because we got recertified as a redevelopment-ready community. This is similar funding that helped raise money for Red Bull Park. And with that, I just have a brief video presentation.
Let There Be Light Gateway. A 60-day crowdfunding campaign by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Patronicity Program is underway to raise $50,000 for a match of $50,000. With the leadership of the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, the cities of Detroit, Oak Park, and Southfield are working to transform a piece of their shared border with a dramatic lighting project. The intersection of 8 Mile Road, the Lodge Freeway, and Greenfield Road is an important gateway to Detroit, Oak Park, and Southfield. The surrounding area is undergoing a major transformation with many new investments and rehab structures. The 8 Mile Boulevard Association, Detroit, Oak Park, and Southfield have joined forces to create a new look to the centerpiece of this important gateway, where Greenfield Road and the Lodge Freeway intersect with 8 Mile Road. Join us in the remaking of this intersection through our Let There Be Light Gateway initiative that will add artistic lighting to an intersection crossed by over 100,000 travelers daily. The objective is to install lighting, where none exists, to the underpass of the 8 Mile Road Bridge that spans the intersection.
Our mission is to lift the image and appearance of 8 Mile Road.
Greenfield and Lodge is one of the key gateways to Detroit.
This amazing project will further economic development in the area.
Our plan is to make this intersection unique, to make it look like no other.
The 8 Mile Boulevard Association supports.
The City of Detroit supports.
The City of Oak Park supports.
Southfield supports.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
As we turn drab to bright, let there be light.
So just in closing, residents, businesses, and community organizations are invited to contribute to the campaign and help bring this vision to life. Donations can be made at projects Let There Be Light Gateway, Patronicity. Every dollar counts towards making the gateway a brighter, safer, and more welcoming place for everyone. We'll take contributions from $5 up to $10,000, which is the max. There are brochures in the back, and there's extra gifts and swag for those who contribute a certain amount. Again, any money that we raise, we keep, but if we can meet our goal of $50,000 or greater in 60 days, we will get $50,000 from the state. So that would be a great way to kick off this program. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So I just want to let everyone know that the information for Let There Be Light campaign is already on the city's website. It's across all social media platforms. And I have been told that we have already received at least one, if not the first and only donation currently. So we are kicking it off hopefully strong, and we'll have more donations by the end of this evening.
So you can give online.
And if you do look at the different levels of money, you can get different swag, as was mentioned, depending on the level of giving. So I know we had some questions. We'll start with Councilwoman Hoag.
Thank you, Mr. President. No question, but I think this is great. You probably know what I'm going to say. I know this is supported by the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, but let us not forget, the same thing is needed at Telegraph and 8 Mile. So every opportunity that I can speak that, I'm going to speak it. It needs to be lighting there as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Haynes?
My question was only to know that there was a possibility to give online as well.
Yeah, I think that's the way we're encouraging to do it, is online donations.
And will there be any type of public events to raise money for this?
In this particular case, the window's short. Today is like the kickoff. Each of our communities are announcing it, and we're trying to just get the word out. We're trying to keep it simple. Go on the web page. You can make a donation from $5 up to $10,000.
Okay. So when I win the lottery, I'll let you know.
All right, Council, any other questions? All right, and again, this information is on the city's website and social media platforms, so if you are interested in being a part of this, this is a crowdfunding campaign that hopefully we can hit our goal of $50,000 and get an additional $50,000 and really light up this intersection, and then hopefully we can do this again for 8 Mile and Telegraph. That Councilman Hoag is going to lead us on that one.
Yeah, we can get the twirl and the timing.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have a presentation from our Business and Economic Development Department on our 2024 annual report.
Yes, good evening, everybody. We are very excited about the patronicity. As you'll remember, the Red Pole Park was another project that we did, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very interactive. And so we're excited about this one. So I do have a quick report about my activities over the course of the year. And again, nothing is possible without the assistance from the Southfield City Council, our mayor, and of course our city administrator. I appreciate all of your efforts to help me and to be successful, and obviously to make sure that the city stays strong. I oversee our Oakland County, Michigan Works Office, our relationship with Centropolis Accelerator, and I included our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, which we do have an exciting project today as well. And I would like to just quickly introduce Sarah Mullally, who's my new deputy, and I'm really excited to have her on my team. She brings a real strength and connection to the planning department. As we have a lot of redevelopment activities, her background will really help make those projects move forward in a positive manner. As well, she's very tech savvy and can help get everything streamlined, and it's going to help with our patronicity plan as well. Resilience and reinvention has really been the key for this year. As our state legislators have talked about, we're in difficult times. Can't pronounce anything. But we have been working to help remain resilient during this time, to be adaptable, helping our businesses evolve with innovative strategies, with the digital transformation and collaboration, growth amongst the challenges, celebrating our successes and overcoming economic pressures, helping secure investment and launching new initiatives, and focusing on the community, highlighting our partnerships, sustainability efforts, and contributions to growing Southfield, our economy, and our cultural landscape. Over the course of the year, our first goal has been to work on business attraction, to strengthen our competitiveness in the city's existing major businesses and bring about new development in the area. I work with our partners from Oakland County, with the Detroit Regional Partnership and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, traveling around the country, working to promote the city of Southfield at different events, seeing all the new innovative companies at displays or seeking to attract new businesses to our community. We've had some excellent examples this year, working with the DRP, Lucid, and new German companies moving into town. They're an engineering company. Samsung has moved into the city of Southfield, Thundersoft. We've had some exciting redevelopment opportunities with the new Baco project and El Car Wash, the addition of Costco Business Center, and then tonight, hopefully, the new transformational Brownfield, which we're very excited to work on. Business retention, and I'm glad that Molly's here. She's been a wonderful addition to the city and to our Downtown Development Authority, and our partners from the Main Street program, Annika. It's been a great relationship, and we've really enjoyed partnering with them and with Oakland Thrive and with our neighbors in Oak Park and Lathrop Village to host different programs. I continue to do retention visits, meeting with our partners from Oakland County and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation to make sure that our business community is aware of the resources that are available. And then we do have a wonderful website, and we are looking to continue to update that, and Sarah will be that's one of her biggest responsibilities moving forward, is to make sure that we can get our information out to our existing businesses to help them grow, to those that are looking online in the middle of the night because they're entrepreneurs and looking for a great new idea, to make sure that our resources are available. As well, we've been connecting with a lot of site selectors that do a cursory review of things just online, so we want to be ready for all those examples. Another fun program, and this last year, it was wonderful to have so many city council members help us. We still didn't win anything, but we're moving closer to the Southfield Community Cup. And we had so many outstanding companies participate, and we're just working on the next calendar year. I have the calendar already in place, and so I'm looking to put together the best trivia team. We're going to be doing some outreach during some different city events to showcase our different activities. I know at the Tigers game, we asked the Spirit Committee if we could have a cornhole competition so we could try and get the best players to represent the city at the Southfield Community Cup. But this event has been really outstanding for our business community. They've really enjoyed working together. Many of our businesses work together in a professional setting, and this allows them to participate on a social setting, and they've really enjoyed it. And this year, we were proud to have Clarions Technologies. It was a very tight competition between them and Kamau, and we're hoping that, once again, they'll be back and participating again. So it was a lot of fun, and here's a picture of the work that we did at Bedford Park. We added a new mural working with Parks and Recreation, and Parks and Recreation stated that they're going to have a dedicated staff person working with us this year to make sure that our programs run smoothly and to get our business community more involved in all of our activities with the city of Southfield. So it was a lot of fun, and again, we invite you to participate in these upcoming activities as well. Business diversification. Obviously, this is important. We want our businesses to be sustainable, and as things change and innovate, we want our business community to be fluid and available to take advantage of all the changes that are happening. Centropolis Accelerator continues to dominate in the state and around the world. We've attracted businesses from all over. Their clients' revenues have exceeded $26 million. They've created 167 jobs, commercialized 87 products, 55 patents, 5 new companies. And one of the big things that they're really focused on is having all that manufacturing done in the state of Michigan, and you could see their contracts are valued at $8.4 million. This year, they launched 2 big initiatives. One was creating a defense hard tech accelerator. It's been really important for the country to have a supply chain that's deep and in the United States, and Centropolis has been focusing on that, trying to make sure that we're prepared for all different circumstances. And then they've been working with mobility prototyping grants from the state of Michigan. And some of the very innovative, smart technology has been in robots and drones and autonomous vehicles. It's just really been a lot of fun to see all these new products that have been developed through this initiative. Our Oakland County, Michigan Works we're excited. We just brought in Lena Zakaria has moved up into our management position, and so we have that continuity moving forward after Lisa Strosky retired, and she did a wonderful job for the city, and we're looking forward to Lena continuing that. We just hired a new assistant manager for the site. She has a strong history from other Michigan Works facilities in the city of Detroit, so we're excited about that. And right now, one of their big focuses is on apprenticeships, and this is something that, again, when Middle Point Investment Group talks, there'll be some potential collaboration there. But we're just excited about all the efforts of Michigan Works. And I know at one past call, we had discussed about city staff having interns and having young people paid. The Michigan Works they just received a large allocation to disperse amongst the communities. So any young people, I believe it's 16 to 24, are eligible to contact Oakland County, Michigan Works for summer jobs. There are some criteria that need to be explored, but there's a lot of other opportunities. So we just encourage everyone to take advantage of the resources that are available, because it's on us to improve ourselves. So we're excited about that. And then just leveraging our partnerships, our public-private partnerships. I sit on a variety of different boards and commissions, including I'm involved with the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, DeRoy Educational Partnership. It's a foundation that helps with scholarships, Centropolis, Automation Alley, and the Salvation Army of Farmington Hills. So that's my overview. I do have slides that I provided to everybody about the Community Cup Challenge from last year. If you want to see them or they're at your leisure, everyone has a copy of them. So if there's any other questions?
Council, any questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Shelley. We do appreciate your efforts in trying to recruit and retain a lot of the businesses that come. As we know, we have a lot of office space. I think we have more square footage office space than Detroit. Is that true?
Well, it keeps changing, but we do have 30 million square feet of office, and we, under the leadership of Mr. Zorn, we do have a vacant buildings task force where I work with, and I do want to thank all of the different departments that I work with, but building and assessing, everybody. We do have a task force, and we work together to try and reposition those properties and, bring more people back into usable space in the city.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next, I'd like to call up our DDA director. We have a presentation of a Connected Grant Award to Geniuses on Board Daycare.
Hello, I'm Molly Lalone, the Executive Director for the Southfield DDA. The DDA is located in the southeast corner where Northland Mall used to be, between 8 Mile and Mount Vernon and Greenfield and the freeways. I'm very proud. About a year ago, I asked you to please approve the DDA being part of the Main Street program, and you agreed. And we became part of the Main Street program. And one of the benefits of being in the Main Street program is there are grants that are available only to the businesses in the districts that are served by Main Streets, and nationally there are Main Street grants that we have applied for and not received yet. But the good news is we have the Connected Grant. It was a technology grant, matching grant from Main Street Oakland County and from MSU Federal Credit Union. And Mrs. Murray from Geniuses on Board received one of those grants, and that's what we're here today to talk about. And I will now pass the mic on to Annika Norris. She's from Main Street, Oakland County.
Good evening. We're just really happy to be here with Molly. We're excited to have Southfield on as a partner of the Main Street program, which I hope you all know is the economic development program for our neighborhood corridors and downtowns. And we're happy to have Ian Duncanson here with Michigan State Credit Union. And our partnership with Michigan State Credit Union has been really awesome. We found that there was some areas, we have a couple grants, and there was an area that we were missing, and that was for businesses to be able to get technology, whatever that technology be for their business. So we've developed a great partnership, and from here I'm going to turn it over to Ian.
Thank you, Annika. So my name's Ian Duncanson, and I'm our market manager for Southeast Michigan at MSU Federal Credit Union. MSU FCU was founded in 1937 on campus at Michigan State, and we've grown to now having 26 branches in the state of Michigan, covering West Michigan, North Michigan, Mid-Michigan, and of course Southeast Michigan, where we actually just opened our 8th branch in January of this year in Brighton, with Novi being the one before that, and the closest branch to here being in Berkeley at the corner of 11 Mile and Coolidge. So as all of you know, especially Southfield being the center of it all, Southfield is close and connected to where we have a branch in Berkeley. Everyone in Michigan is eligible to be a member, so I do invite you to consider joining us, as that's how we fund programs like this. I went to the Main Street Oakland County Summit last year and met Annika and John Bry and learned a little bit about what Main Street Oakland County can do to help provide support for businesses in our local communities. So just absolutely thrilled to have launched this grant program. It's a matching grant program with our next cycle opening in May. So if you want more details, you can visit Main Street Oakland County's website for other businesses that might be interested. But we believe in supporting small businesses. It's foundational to our communities and to the mission of credit unions, which are really existing as people helping people. So consider checking us out at msufcu.org. And we're so thrilled to be awarding Geniuses on Board with this grant. And I'm going to introduce DeAndrea to talk a little bit more about what this grant will help her do.
Good evening, everyone. I am DeAndrea Murray. I am the owner and the founder of Geniuses on Board Child Development and Learning Center here in Southfield. We are located on J.L. Hudson Drive, right over there where all the new party is happening over at Northland. Geniuses on Board was founded here in Southfield. We've been in business in Southfield roughly 13 years now. We started in-home. We started with 6 kids, we moved to 12, and then 2020 we purchased the property on J.L. Hudson, and that's where our journey began in this new facility. Little backstory, 2020 we all know was COVID. I think I found out that the state was shutting down before the world knew. I called the city like, hey, I got a property and I need my certificate of occupancy. And the lady answered the phone, and she was like, well, we're packing up the office. You won't be able to come here today. The governor's getting ready to announce the state is shutting down. So we started with our doors shut. Thankfully, we made it through, starting out as an emergency shelter for essential workers. And 5 years later, we are still there. We're thriving. We're licensed for 100 students. We're doing great. So we're full capacity. We're waitlisted. Some of the things we do, we believe in giving families their time back. So we have dentists that come in every 6 months to check the kids' teeth, vision screening, hearing screening. We provide education for the students, summer camps for school-age students when they're out in the summer. Back-to-school events, we do backpack giveaways. And so I just wanted to, give a special thank you to the council, because the council they are pro-business. You guys have always supported business that is conducive to the culture of Southfield. I know, people don't understand the extent of standing before you, presenting their businesses and asking for permissions to do business in the city. For me, you did it with grace. Even to Terry, I know he kind of plays behind the scenes, but the things that he does on behalf of the planning department, I'm grateful for, because he was there for me every step of the way through my business journey in Southfield. Special thank you to Shelly. Shelly is like the biggest business cheerleader in the state of Michigan. Shelly's going to make sure you're excited about being in business here in Southfield. And also to piggyback on what she talked about in her presentation about the apprenticeships. We are also a registered apprenticeship with Michigan Works. So we do partner with Michigan Works. We provide summer employment for students. We've employed many students from the Southfield High School and other people that come through the Michigan Works. Mayor Cyber. Thank you to Mayor Cyber also. He's always been there. He's came to my grand opening. We always hanging out together in the city at all the different events. Special thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. Southfield as a whole is just such a supportive city when it comes to business. And of course, last but not least, I can't not thank Molly and the DDA. Molly was there throughout this whole process. Well, she personally first came and introduced herself when she got the job, like, hey, I'm here. And she's been there ever since. I literally was shopping for a certain technology for the business, and she happened to come right along and send me this information on this grant, so it was like right on time. So what we did was we got a CRM system, and in the CRM system, it's specifically made for child care centers. So it allows us to track our customers from that very first phone call through the end of their journey, whether they end their journey with enrollment with us or whether it's a lost opportunity. But it's like an automated point now where it's constantly talking to our customers and talking to people that's reached out to us like, hey, don't forget about us in case you're still in the market, or hey, hope all is going well. And so it takes that stress and pressure off of me of having to remember, did I follow up with that person that reached out to us? What was the name of that parent that came and did a tour today? How many children did they have? All of those systems has now been automated, and that's thanks to this grant, that's thanks to Main Street, and that's thanks to Michigan State University Credit Union. So again, thank you for making these funds available to business members to help us continue to thrive. It shows that the county and the city shows a vested interest in keeping our doors open, and that does mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Ms. Murray, I'm sorry, do you want to, if someone wants to, you mentioned your business has a wait list, but if you want to give a shout out and how people can contact you if they're interested in your services.
Sure. So you can call us. Our local phone number is 248-996-9556. We're available online. Our website is geniusesonboard.com. We're also on social media. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just search Geniuses on Board and we come up. And you can also see a lot of the things that we do there. So there's many activities that we have for the kids, different community things. So sometimes they can just come and be a part and just, get a chance to experience our facility.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you want to take a picture?
Mr.
or-
President. Yeah, could we stand in front of you guys and take the picture? Would that be all right?
That'd be
Before
fine.
you take the picture.
Oh, we have a couple comments before you
Yeah,
come
I
over.
just want to say, you thanked us. We need to thank you for being a good partner with us. Not just a good business partner with the city of Southfield, but taking care of our children, our future. So we thank you for that because we instill our protection to you, to our kids. And if I'm not mistaken, you're on the end of the drive, right at Greenfield?
Across from Wendy's.
That's what I thought. I remember when you opened up, and I mean, I'm just very grateful and thankful for your success because, again, anything to do with our children, our youth, we have to support it because families, we need more businesses like you. And so we thank you for staying here. We thank you for the things that you gave us, but we should be thanking you because you also brought that building back to life. And I know we should be able to find her a bigger location soon, but or to expand, have different outlets. So I just want to thank you, your family, and everybody, which I wish you continued success. So I love to see someone like me that is doing good and standing there. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you and congratulations as well. I was a part of the chamber when you first came on board. If anyone has not seen that building, it is very, very beautiful, very well done. If I'm not mistaken, you had some people come in and design, creative design. It's a welcoming place for children, which is very, very important for any parent that entrusts someone with their children. It is state-of-the-art, it's very well secured, and I've been there, and it's such a nice, fun place. If I had some little ones again, I'd bring them there. But congratulations to you, and thank you for staying around, sticking around, and just doing the work. And I know it's that there are other people that are around that were helping you, because I saw some family members and a good team of people that you have that really, really help you pull this off, and I think that's more important. It says a lot to the fact that when you have people that are willing to work, especially with children, and buy into your vision and do what you do, that is so important. And we are still here to help you and keep up the good work. Thank you. And thank you, Michigan State Credit Union, for what you do. I had an opportunity to attend the summit, and for what you all do with entrepreneurs in the community is very, very important. That's a big deal, what's happening now with entrepreneurs, especially in this area. And in the Southfield area, we have been noted by Money Geek as the place for African-American women to come to start a business. So hang around. We got some more people coming for you. Thank you again, Michigan State Credit Union.
Yes.
And we will have Shelley come after you to find a location in Southfield.
Yeah.
So. All right, so. Yeah.
nice.
Photoshop it in.
Yes. That's right, Ari.
Do you have all of us in there, or do you need us to?
You want us to stand up?
Lean in there.
Should we shake hands?
Right, thank you.
All right.
All right. Our last presentation this evening is a Veterans Commission presentation. Dr. Carruthers, are you still here? Oh, all right. Here he is. A man who needs no introduction.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Dr. Carruthers, chairperson of the Southfield Veterans Commission, also known as SVC.
No, go ahead.
Okay, to the city council members and others in attendance, thank you for the opportunity to share what we do as the only Veterans Commission in the state of Michigan. Our mission statement is to strengthen the common veterans cause and ensure that the community is aware of veterans' rights and needs, especially in these challenging times, to honor those veterans who have passed on, to preserve honor for the veterans of the future, to assist resident veterans and their families when in need. Our goals and objectives: advocate for Southfield military veterans and their families. Our approach is to currently be a key resource for the new Veterans Village. Support for veterans and their family members who are attending Southfield-based colleges, OCC and LTU. We also have food distributions. We have resource events. We had a resource fair here a couple weeks ago. Achievements and contributions. The Southfield Memorial and Veterans Day ceremonies are partners. We are partners with the city on that. Southfield Police Department. We also represent at their memorial services. We also have an opportunity for veterans to have an oral presentation called Veterans History Project, where they are then, they have a collection in the Library of Congress. We have a current list of veterans compiled from our SVC hotline and our website presence. Our telephone number is 248-796-4838. Our website is the Southfield Veterans Commission. We also have presentations, have had presentations from our founder, the last living founder of the Southfield Veterans Commission, Councilman Dan Brightwell. We've had other folk come into our meetings to give us presentations as well. Our community impact, meeting veterans' financial needs through Southfield Human Services resources. We have holiday events, family dinners and turkeys, etc., for veterans and their families. Future plans. Southfield veterans, of which there are over 3,600 in the city of Southfield. We want to engage in faith-based collaboration with businesses, academic scholarships, service veteran organizations, and community outreach initiatives. We adhere to ordinances from the city because we are grounded in the city constitution, et cetera, which Attorney King has helped me out with a great deal, and I appreciate it. Again, the Southfield Veterans Commission, the only one in the state of Michigan, and very few in the country, is working tirelessly for veterans in Southfield, but we need to do more and we need to do better in these challenging times. The Southfield City Council has taken the lead in providing the resources our SVC needs to be effective advocates for the Southfield military veterans and their families. Are there any questions?
Councilman Brightwell.
Yeah, Dr. Carruthers, thank you very much for that presentation. Let me just mention that this is part of the boards and commissions process of highlighting and bringing forth all the boards and commissions in the city of Southfield. And so we are, per month, we will be bringing a board and our commission forward and for them to present their mission and indicate how their mission is consistent with the city of Southfield mission. But more so than anything else, we also want to, for the public to join up and volunteer to be on a commission. So this way you can see what is actually, how productive they are being. The Veterans Commission has been very productive since their founding in 2004. And they were recognized in Congress, and they're in the congressional record. One of our sponsors was Representative Sander Levin. That was before Southfield had their own. Sander Levin recognized us, represented us, and I worked with his office to set up the Veterans History Project. And Mr. Levin appreciated our efforts so much that he announced in the body of the Congress, and it's in the congressional record, that how good we were doing. He recognized the Southfield Veterans Commission. And it was one of the more productive ones in the whole country. And as a side note, the congressman from South Carolina, I can't think of his name now, Jim.
Clyburn.
Yeah, Clyburn. He came through Southfield with Sander Levin, and he mentioned to me that he was starting a Veterans Commission in South Carolina, similar to what we are doing here, what Sandy had mentioned to him, what we were doing here. So the Veterans Commission is a wonderful organization. And Mr. Carruthers, Rod, I would like to just mention that, and Southfield has been very supportive of this Veterans Commission since day one. And our city liaison is the police department. Can you just touch base on your working with the police department and how supportive they are with you?
Right. Southfield Police Department, again, we have a liaison as part of the commission. But what they do is they sponsor us in terms of finances. Now, we're a city entity, but we must go through the police department to actually have vouchers approved, et cetera. So without the police department, again, the city of Southfield in total has supported the commission 100% since I've been on the commission over 10 years. But the police department is integral in us getting things done. Boots on the ground, going into veterans' homes, et cetera, the hospitals and so forth. They provide things like traffic control when we have resource fairs or food distributions. They also provide security for us when we get a little rambunctious in our meetings. But that aside, the city of Southfield has supported us 100%, and we thank you for that.
Great. Well, Rod, one last thing. Mr. Carruthers, he's a retired college professor, and he's a Marine, and he came last in this presentation today. And again, this is symbolic of military. You're always prepared, and I want to thank you, Dr. Carruthers, for making your presentation. I know we didn't want to keep you away from home for too long, but I definitely appreciate you coming forward and making your presentation.
I appreciate you calling me a couple of days in advance.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that ends our presentations for this evening, and we're on to communications. Just as a follow-up from last week, we had a couple speakers, and I just wanted to update our council and those who are following along. We had one speaker who had an issue with a fence along the fences back up to a city street, as well as some pothole repairs for that street. The city did start working on filling potholes and trying to do the best they can with the current weather. I was told that one of the streets in that neighborhood were completed, the other one should be completed this week. And as it relates to the fence that is falling down, the city is still currently investigating if it's a city fence or if it is a private fence, and because that determines who's responsible to fix the fence. I do want to remind everyone who has a fence, this isn't just specific to this problem, that when you have bushes and trees that are protruding out into the fence, especially wooden fences, vinyl fences, that can ruin some of the structural integrity of the fences, which looks like it happens in this area, but the city is looking to figure out whose responsibility it is, and we will move forward accordingly and, of course, be in touch with that resident who came forward. We also had a resident who had an issue with code enforcement based on firewood and a shed. The complaint was that it wasn't necessarily firewood, it was more artistic wood that was placed around the property. We did look into it. The issue was, some of the issues raised by the resident were that we were asking him to paint his shed in February. Paint was not an issue. Paint is just part of the code that was mentioned in the violation. The shed was actually built without a permit and is currently not structurally sound. It is chipping, it has peeling paint, possible rotted boards, shingles hanging past eaves. Again, it was built without a permit. There's also a number of wood that can would not decompose naturally, but if they are being used as lawn ornaments or as a border, that's different than just firewood or wood hanging around for aesthetic or yard art. That resident has been in communications with our code enforcement officer for that area, and hopefully they can continue to communicate and find a resolution. We also had a speaker who talked about sinks and sewers that are backing up in apartments and rental homes. I did give out the phone number for the building department. They will do inspections for apartments and rentals. I did check with our building official today. There has not been any calls the last week about any complaints, but I did ask him if he can talk a little bit. He's a master plumber by trade, and I did ask if he can speak to some of the concerns that were raised last week.
Good evening, Council. I'm Chuck Woodward, the building official for the city of Southfield. I'm also a master plumber, as the President Mandelbaum had said. I wanted to comment on what we were not just hearing last week, but all the previous discussions that people have brought to the floor regarding quote-unquote raw sewage. As a master plumber, I've worked on more sewer lines, building drains under people's kitchen sinks and crawl spaces than most people past telephone poles, so I've seen quite a bit. The use of the word raw is something that's used to magnify or draw attention to the drama that's involved with sewage. Sewage doesn't need that. It's already nasty. It's only the people who bring it to your attention. So the common problems that we're talking about that happen on a daily basis to each and every person, if not in this room, in the surrounding communities, that keep plumbers in business for having drains that are backed up all the time. The ones that back up in people's basement over the last minimum of a decade are protected by something called a backwater check valve. It connects to your sewer in your basement, stopping any backflow from the sewer line between your house and the city sewer. Those are required on all new buildings and any remodeling that you do in your basement. Those are required to stop that sewage. Then we have the remaining issues. Most people don't know, and I'm glad you're giving me the chance to say this, but plumbing systems do require maintenance. Just as our blacktop driveways require to be sealed, our roofs need to be replaced every so often, 25 years, 30 years, right in that area. Sewer systems need to have maintenance as well. So there are companies out there that'll come out annually and snake the drain for you. There are things that we can do in our own home that businesses do commonly. Businesses provide grease traps to protect the sewer lines that are outside. Just imagine what a mall would look like if we allowed grease to go down those sewer lines. So if we take the time to address the maintenance issues and do exactly what was suggested last week at this council's meeting, call the building department if you have any questions. You have master plumbers, master electricians, pipe fitters, heating and cooling contractors, architects, engineers. You have a huge supply of people to get the information that they know and not information that they think they know. Please feel free to call at any time. 796-4100.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I know that, I've called you with plumbing questions as I'm trying to do the home maintenance for myself as well. So I do appreciate the insight and the help, and I encourage, and again, if you have a question, please call the building department. If you are a renter, whether it's in a home, townhome, condo, apartment building, the building department, if you have an issue, will come out and inspect and make sure that your living conditions are suitable. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, Council.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll up to the communications portion. Each speaker will have 3 minutes, and please, I will read the rules around communications. The Southfield City Council has established the following rules of procedure for all speakers. No speaker may make personal or impertinent attacks upon any officer, employee, or city council member or other elected official that is unrelated to the manner in which the officer, employee, or city council member or other elected official performs his or her duties. No person shall use abusive or threatening language towards any individual when addressing the city council. Any person who violates this section shall be directed by the presiding officer to be orderly and silent. If a person addressing the council refuses to become silent when so directed, such person may be deemed by the presiding officer to have committed a breach of the peace by disrupting and impeding the orderly conduct of the public meeting of the city council, and may be ordered by the presiding officer to leave the meeting. If the person refuses to leave as directed, the presiding officer may direct any law enforcement officer who is present to escort the violator from the meeting. The council may not provide responses to public comments during the meeting. If you have provided your contact information when you signed up for public communications, the city will provide a more formal response to you in the near future. The council will also not respond after each speaker. If a response is warranted and we have information available, it will be done once communication has completed. I also like to remind everyone to please give respect to each speaker. There is no clapping or cheering or booing for any speaker. Once the timer has finished your 3 minutes, please conclude your remarks and allow the next speaker an opportunity. Our first speaker is Roberta Kottman. Ms. Kottman? Yep.
Education is a process. It's always a process. It's a teaching, learning experience. It takes place all the rest of our lives. And I say that that experience begins in the family, in the home. Molly It belongs in daycare. Tonight, we bring it to your attention because the superintendent, Jennifer Green, of the schools, has put it on the agenda. She has declared a program saying public education belongs in the district. March the 12th it started. And now the Sun, first page, talks about education as a process. And I will remind you and inform others that the mayor of the city of Southfield was the assistant superintendent of schools. The mayor is a former teacher. Let us look at some of the other educational experiences. Look how often Lawrence Technological University was mentioned tonight. Lawrence Technological University has a peace poll before the city of Southfield had a peace poll. Let us look at Oakland Community College, of which our own Dr. Cruz is the faculty member. Lawrence Technological Seminary, did I say seminary? Has a peace poll, but so do all the campuses of Oakland Community College. And last of all, let us look at the churches and the synagogues. This is our brochure, and I'm going to pass it around so that you can look at our brochure, listing all. Churches have always supported public education. Is it not true? Yes.
Your time is up.
One of the education.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Stacy Jackson.
Good evening, Stacy Jackson, Southfield resident. I was here today actually to give kudos to Senator Moss and Representative Hawkins, which I was able to do so in the hallway, but wanted to do here today as well. To thank him, both of them, for their efforts in getting gun laws passed that we were working so hard on. We'll be there next month doing the same thing to help get more gun laws passed that they've pledged to help us get approved. I also want to thank Jason Hoskins in particular, for he did try to champion renters' right laws. He did fight hard the entire month of December to help get some things passed, and he's pledged to continue to do some work to help us get those done. My hope is that we have more elected officials get involved in those policies on an even more local level, particularly with renters' rights. One of the reasons why no one called is because they fear retaliation, which was one of the things that those renters came before you in fear about. So my hope is that while we have master plumbers giving great advice, I wish that our council could do more about protecting the residents who are enduring subpar living conditions, who are afraid of the retaliation of property owners that this council and city itself has indicated has had a trouble spanning 10 years of reaching out to get things done. So if they're not listening and abiding by the rules enforced by our city, imagine what they're doing to the residents who live there. Is there a way that while we are sending out notices to residents, that we can reach out to the property owners and say we need to gain entry into these places? And if the conditions are, as these residents are coming to you saying, can we do something? Put liens on them the way you do residents. Can we put any type of cases against them? These residents are afraid, and they are coming to you hoping that you can do something more than just listen. They're hoping that you can act. The residents did not call because they fear the retaliation of being evicted, which are the very laws that these people came before you in October seeking your assistance. Please do more to look into this. It is real. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Greg Keeler.
Greg Keeler, Southfield resident. Council stated there had been many septic tank town halls with no proof. The mayor then stated that there was no town hall. I also know there was no town hall. I came back next week with the proof of what the mayor said, that there was no town hall. You then had the pleasure of deciding to say everything that you wanted to under the sun. I think I'm owed an apology for that. Second off, when I showed it, how come we don't have a town hall? One of your council people asked, a town hall meeting. All that is communications with your residents, a conversation to see what the issues are and the problems are. All things sewer and water, town hall. Why aren't you having it? You said you would do it if you had the issue. So are you telling the truth or not? I think everyone living here would like to see that, who have had sewer problems and or septic tank problems and some of the newer issues that come up. And yes, you have said it's been 10 years. That just shows you haven't moved. That's all. And hard of hearing. So there should be something done. And yes, you are being the bully. If you're sitting here saying something afterwards and not letting other people voice their opinion, if you think you can voice your opinion without letting us, you're wrong.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Keith Harris.
How you doing today? This was a rewarding day to hear the police chief retire. I'm so glad of that. But I want people to know that we're always in Lansing. Matter of fact, next month we got 200 people going to Lansing, and Jason and Jeremy will be greeting us. We also have our Silence the Violence in June, which the governor has named June Silence the Violence Month. We do these programs because 20 kids last year were murdered by their own parents' guns. We're doing great things. And here in Southfield, we're going to be doing some great things. My pastor, I go to church twice a week, twice on Sundays. Episcopalian church. And my pastor here, Father Chris, I'm quite sure a lot of y'all know him. We do a lot of work. We do a lot of work in Detroit and all throughout Michigan. We're on the move. And we're going to make some changes with rental rights. We're going to make sure it's in a charter one way or another. We're going to hold the governor responsible to not sign a charter that the people don't approve of. We're going to hold you responsible. Now, when we brought these issues to Mr. Persons in the back, he said he didn't want to deal with the local issues. Now, government is local. Our vote is local. We want the unions to be hired on that Northland site. You got $137 million of taxpayers' money. That's their money. That's our money. But he said he didn't want the unions here. We're going to change some things in this city. We're going to bring the unions. We're going to make sure that job site have union people on it. This is an apprenticeship dream. We're going to force you guys to be a part of our programs. And we are going to have a Silence to Violence Day, which is, the color is going to be orange in Southfield. We're not doing bad things. We're doing great things. We're doing great things. I guess that's why my son, when he get out of the service, he said, "Oh, Dad, I'm coming to Southfield. I'm going to join the police department because I see there needs to be some help here." And if you see a 6'5" high yellow kid join the police department, that's my boy. We're going to make changes.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kimberly Hairston. Kimberly here? She's gone. Reginald Barnes.
Good evening, council members. I am Reginald Barnes, and I serve Director of Security and the Building Facility Manager at the Empowerment Church, 24350 Southfield Road. And I'm here to speak on behalf of members of the church and residents in that area. At your last city council meeting, it was an understanding that the residents were concerned about the building of the oil change facility next door to us is 24412 Southfield Road, and you voted that down. Now, we see now that there's another proposal with the same person, and I see the wording has changed, and they now have presented that with the Planning Commission to actually build that building again through a process. Although this second proposal has a different description and number, it still retains to the location and proposed area where that you have voted to stop it. So many of the residents and I are deeply concerned by what appears to be an effort to circumvent the original decision by resubmitting the project under a different proposal number. We feel that this tactic causes confusion and undermines public trust in the Planning Commission's process, a trust that our community values and counts on. The petitioner was absent at the March 19th meeting and was incredibly disappointing that given that the hearing was postponed for his benefit and rescheduled for March 26th. In contrast, the community showed up in good faith and deserves the same level of respect and transparency from this process. Repackaging a previously denied proposal under new numbers sends the wrong message. It suggests a lack of fairness and raises questions about transparency and accountability, two principles that must remain at the core of our local government. We respect and urge the Planning Commission to honor the original City Council decision, respect the community's clear and consistent opposition, and reject this new proposal. Your decision will directly impact the fabric of our neighborhood, and we ask that it reflect the values of integrity, community input, and good governance. On behalf of the Empowerment Church and many of our concerned citizens that are here tonight, I thank you for the time and service and ask you to join the community in prioritizing our well-being and shared vision for Southfield. We appreciate that whatever you do to help us to stop that will impact that neighborhood for now, for the next 10, 15, 20 years. My only question is, what happens if the building folds? Will it become an auto mechanic shop? We don't want that in the neighborhood as an eyesore. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Exie Jones.
Good evening, council members. My name is Exie Jones, and I'm here on behalf of the Bid Whist group. Anybody that knows about cards and bid whist. We currently play in room 115. Before the pandemic, we were on Berg Road. We had about 9 or 10 tables. Now we have 18 and growing. We have almost outgrown the room. And I was just wondering, is there some place in the budget or wherever that we could have a designated place for seniors? We currently come in at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have to be out by 3:30. We're seniors, but we don't go to bed at 4 o'clock. We don't have children that we got to get to bed to pick up from school. This is our prime time. We want to hang out a little bit, do what grown folks do. We eat and play cards and have fun. Right now, we don't have enough tables, and some of the ones we have are inadequate. So we need new tables. And we would really love to have a spot for us. We've worked, we've paid our dues to society. Give us a spot so we could enjoy our life. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Bryant.
Good evening, council members. I'm Dr. Robert Bryant, a member of Empowerment Church. I'll make it very quick. Reginald Barnes just made a major presentation regarding that oil change business that want to build at the corner of our property. I am 100% opposed to it, so we will appreciate anything that you can do to keep that from coming to our, bordering our property, and also impacting the environment elements that was mentioned by Director Barnes last week and again this week. Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Joseph Person.
Good evening. My grandmother said when people talk about you, you must be doing something. I came to speak about the charter. The Southfield Charter, was enacted in 1958, and no notable revisions have been made since then. Why did the city council appoint members of their choosing to the Southfield Charter Committee instead of requesting a full charter review? Please explain the purpose and the focus of the Charter Committee. What are the powers of the Charter Committee? Our charter is in need of revision for Southfield because Southfield has grown in size and residents and issues and concerns. Are Southfield residents aware of the Charter Committee? And how will they direct their issues and concerns to the committee? Right now, only the department heads are addressing the Charter Committee with their requests. What are we entering to what are we doing and entering into an election come a few months from now, which is going to be a primary in August and then a general election in November? The Southfield citizens deserve the right to have the questions asked and have a full charter revision placed on the ballot. You know, this governing document is a serious document. The city of Southfield and the culture back in 1958 was not like us. The charter is 67 years old. It doesn't represent us. It doesn't speak to us. And it doesn't have the transparency to us. It's time for us maybe to open up our minds, our souls, and our body and decide, let's elect folks to represent us and not choose people.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I cannot read the name that is written here, but their address starts at 158. Does anyone's address start with the three numbers 158 that signed up to speak? Okay. They signed up. We're going through the list. The next speaker is Linda Banks Grazzi. Linda. Karen Schad. Mary Brown. Rick Truitt. Rick. Pamela Gerald.
I'm just going to get right to it. I am appalled that two of the speakers that came up to the people's podium, sitting at the desk, one of them, and up here at the podium, you're doing nothing more than campaigning on the people's time. And I'm going to tell you to stop it. Stop coming up here with these lies, disrespecting our mayor, our city team, and the residents that give a damn about this city. Some of you haven't been here as long as I've been here. And all the years that you were here prior to becoming a candidate, you sat twiddling your thumbs and you never said anything. Don't come up here doing all that talking because you want to be on the ballot. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Stop campaigning at the people's podium. The next thing, the city of Southfield was a chartered city in 1958. In 1999, there was a group of us that came to the city and said we needed a charter committee to look at the charter. I was privy to be put on that first charter in 1999, appointed by the longest-serving councilman, Sidney Lance. We met for over a year. We did go through the entire charter. We did make amendments. We did put 5 amendments per election on the ballot, and those amendments did pass. I can't recall of any amendment that we recommended that did not pass. So if you're going to get up here to the people's podium, make sure you have your facts together. Now, the second committee, people came to the city and said, we need to look at the charter again. I agree with that. The council and all of the necessary administrative people thought it was a great idea, and each council person did what they did years ago. They recommended a person to be appointed to the charter committee, and it's a charter review committee. The purpose of that committee is to do what we did. Go through the entire charter, look at what's not working, amend the language of things that's not working, and make a suggestion and put it on the ballot for the people to vote. We don't do anything in this city without the people voting on it. But you guys are criticizing, you're coming up here with that negative energy. What you should be concerned about is the fact that in this city, for the first time since I've been around, 43 years, we are behind almost a year for the minutes. How can people know what's going on when we've got minutes from last year and we haven't had all the rest of the months? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and it's March again.
Your time is up.
Be concerned about that.
That concludes our communication. Councilwoman Haynes, you had a...
Yes. I'd like to bring forth a person for communication.
Do you have her name?
Yes, I do. Ms. White, please, will you come forward? Shana was recognized in the Southfield newspaper just recently, Shana White, and I want to give you a little bit of background about Shana, and she's going to talk as well. If you haven't seen the papers, just this past week, C&G, Shana White's journey is one of resilience and unwavering determination. She's a single mother who once faced homelessness alongside her son. White understands firsthand the uncertainty and struggle of rebuilding a life from scratch. Yet rather than allowing her experience to define her, she transformed it into a calling, one that has since touched countless lives. Within nearly 13 years in the medical field, she cultivated a deep-seated passion for service. But beyond healthcare, she found herself drawn to something even more transformative, the power of home. She channeled her love for interior design into a movement, ensuring that every family she serves doesn't just receive furniture, but a foundation for a fresh start. Through Picking Up the Pieces, her nonprofit organization, Ms. White has built more than a nonprofit. She has built a community. Her organization provides essential furnishing, resources, and unwavering support to families, reclaiming stability, ensuring that no one has to face the daunting process of rebuilding alone. She believes that home is more than four walls. It's a feeling, a refuge, a place of belonging. And with each family she helps, she proves that no matter how broken the past may seem, there is always a way to pick up the pieces and start anew. I know this is a little bit different, but during this month of Women's History Month, and in celebration, I would like to give Shana the opportunity to talk for a few minutes about her organization. I had the opportunity the other day of attending her breakfast. It was a second annual breakfast that was held at the church on Code Road. And it was in efforts to raise awareness and also to feed the homeless. I think this is an important thing right now with what's going on in the community, and it's also important to see an African-American woman, which Money Geek has, over the past 2 years, described Southfield as a place for African-American women to build a small business. And her business is a nonprofit business that supports, it's a community service business, a much-needed thing in our city. And I'm so grateful to have met her. We crossed paths before and did not know it, but I just wanted to bring it to the attention of our residents, because you may know someone that may be in need of this service that she has and may also want to support her in her efforts. So Ms. Shana, can you give us some time and talk about your organization?
Absolutely. Councilwoman Hayes, thank you so much. Good evening, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Shana White, and I am the founder of Picking Up the Pieces, a nonprofit dedicated to helping families transition out of homelessness and into dignified homes. But beyond my title, I stand here as someone who has lived through the homeless insecurity firsthand right here in Southfield. Who knows what it's like to wonder where home will be tomorrow? And I can tell you, a home is not just four walls and a roof. It's stability, it's security, it's the foundation for everything that allows a person not just to survive, but to strive. At Picking Up the Pieces, we step in at one of the most critical moments in a family's journey. After they've secured housing, but before they have the means to truly make a home, too often families finally receive the keys to their space, only to walk into rooms with no beds to sleep on, no tables to share a meal, no couch to sit on, and exhaust from a long day. That's where we come in. We meet these families right where they are, providing gently used furniture and essential household items to fully furnish their homes with warmth, dignity, and care. But we do more than just fill rooms. We design living spaces that foster healing, comfort, and a true sense of belonging. Southfield has long been a community that values growth, diversity, and opportunity. But as we look around, we see families struggling to maintain a sense of home. We see children forced to move from school to school because their families can't afford to stay in one place. We see hardworking people doing the best, but still falling through the cracks. And we see what happens when essential resources, the ones that once lifted people up, are no longer available here in Southfield. And beyond the physical needs, we must talk about the mental health impact. The stress of not knowing where you're sleeping, how you'll provide for your family, or how you'll make an empty space feel like home is overwhelming. Studies show that housing instability and lack of basic necessities contribute to anxiety, depression, emotional distress, especially in children. A child who sleeps on the floor at night is not well rested for school, nor can they perform well on state and national testing, let alone perform on regular school days. I urge you to take the action. Let's invest in resources that help families not just secure housing, but truly live in their homes. Let's work together to bring back programs that empower families, because when we strengthen our community at its core, when we help people stay in Southfield and strive in Southfield, everyone benefits. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. White. And I hope that next year, when you have your breakfast, that we can fill the room, because I wanted to say to everyone, after we ate, there was a Southfield police there, and there were a lot of supporters. Whole Foods, there were some Comfort Suites. They took the food, packed it up, and they gave it to the homeless people. So this is very, very important, and these are the things that we want residents also to get involved with and to positively impact our community. She is also a resident of Southfield. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. I'm going to briefly try to answer some of the questions or some of the comments that were made during communication. I will do my best. Others, we may have to wait until our next meeting or get back to those residents. In no particular order, the oil change business, while it did fail, when it came to us a few months ago, they have made substantial changes to the plan as well as some of the conditions on the rezoning, and that's why it's coming back. We're not trying to hide anything, but there were substantial changes made to the plan, and that's why it's now going back through the planning process and will eventually come to the City Council once that process has completed. Mr. Planner?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it is coming back this Wednesday to the Planning Commission. There was a legitimate family emergency by the applicant last Wednesday that we confirmed. So we wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt to come back. The public hearing was held, and if it moves forward Wednesday, it should come back to council at the end of April.
Okay. Thank you. There was some comments made about gun violence, and the city has been working with Father Yaw as well as Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense. That we've done this for a number of years, and we're already planning on doing it for this year. We will be lighting up City Hall in orange, because orange is the color for against gun violence, and that has already been done through our community relations, has been set up. So we are always grateful when residents come and support things that the city is doing. The Southfield Police Department has also been having, during March, a free book and gun lock giveaway at the Meyer at Tel 12, at Telegraph and 12 Mile. They have had 4 sessions so far. They have one more coming up March 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Southfield Police Department will be there for books for children and then gun locks for anyone who needs, no questions asked. And the books are available. They're gently used books for children from infants through young adults, and the police department will also be on hand. They can answer any other questions that you may have. Dedicated space for seniors. We will talk to Parks and Rec and figure out the table situation. This is at least the first time I'm hearing of that the tables are not adequate. I know that council has placed a priority this year in our discussions and in our budget to try to find a more permanent solution for seniors to have a space, whether that's on this campus or somewhere else, but that is something that our council has placed a priority on. The minutes, we are working with our city clerk. Council Pro Tem and I have met with our city clerk. We have already we have approved several minutes for 2025. We are working on cleaning up 2024, and we hope to bring many of those minutes forward at our next regular meeting in April. So please stay tuned. With the charter committee that was mentioned, the charter committee is looking at when the council decided to do a charter review, we followed the same process that was done back in 1999. Each council member and the mayor nominated a resident of the city, and it was voted on by the entire council, and they meet on a monthly basis, and they have been taking on many of the questions raised either by council members, by administration, by residents. They take on, there's no, it's not a one-sided, conversation. They look at the entire document and suggestions from everyone. As they have items ready to be discussed and brought forward to the council, the committee will make a presentation to the council, and then the council will have to vote to have that added to our, have it added to a ballot at a regular scheduled election, to have those charter amendments either approved or denied by the city. We have not had anything come forward yet. I know they're still working through the process. They take it chapter by chapter. I don't want to get into too many details about their meetings, but I do believe they meet on the third Thursday of every month.
If I may, Council President.
Yes.
Good evening. Currently, back in September when they initially met, before they have now a full committee, that they were meeting every second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. So I think that may stay like that, but I think they're going to make sure to confirm it for the rest of the year, however long it takes for them to go through the charter. We'll have a presentation, hopefully by someone, a specialist, because there have been amendments, and a specialist can come in and give them more information, and it's been going well. It's a long process, though.
Right. And can you explain the difference between a charter commission that has to be voted on by the people and a charter committee that the council can appoint?
So actually what happens is the committee is a group, they're meeting, they're looking at it, but as they're looking at it, if they decide to make some changes that could fundamentally change our charter, then we would come to council, or the committee would come to council and say, I think we need a charter revision. That takes on a whole different process where 9 people would have to be elected by the people. Then also on that same ballot, you would ask the voters if they want a charter revision. If the electorate says no, then that charter revision, commission for charter revision would no longer operate. The charter committee that we currently have, they review it and they see some things that need to be updated. They bring it to council. Council has to have a 3/5 vote to say, yes, submit this to the Attorney General and the Governor. If the Attorney General and the Governor agree with the amendments, then that also goes on the ballot. So that's a high level, but this is all in the Home Rule City Act also.
Thank you. And many of the, if not all, the questions raised by the speaker have been addressed and answered to the speaker as well. Is that my understanding?
I'm not sure. I know the speaker has attended the meeting. It's an open meeting, so anytime they have questions or want to, I know we had some questions, and I sent out a response to all the members. So, of course, the committee wants to hear from council, wants to hear from residents. So they're welcome to come back, but it is a process that takes time to go through each chapter.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, council, we'll move on to our consent agenda. We have 2 items. Our consent agenda items are considered routine, non-controversial, or have previously been discussed. We have 2 items. Council, do you have any items pulled for further discussion or questions?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we approve consent agenda item A, authorization to renew contract with governmentjobs.com, also known as NeoGov, Government Human Resources Information Software and Management System. B, scheduling a public hearing for the single lot special assessment roll.
Support.
It has been moved by Councilwoman Hoag, supported by Councilman Hicks, to approve consent agenda items A and B as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We have 2 items to be discussed. Our first item is a liquor license request. This is a request to transfer ownership of a Class C and SDM liquor license with Sunday sales, dance entertainment permit, and outdoor service permit from BE Food Group LLC, which is currently in escrow, to Tri-State Hospitality, and to be located at 29555 Northwestern Highway, Suite 304, and a request for new Sunday sales.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
We didn't receive all the information that was in this letter. It talked about attached application and some of the items that we usually receive with reference to a liquor license. I did not get it, and it was not attached, so.
It was sent out later this afternoon.
It was sent out earlier this afternoon?
Today, yes. When we saw it was
Well,
not attached.
I haven't even had a chance to look at it, so I don't know if this can be postponed until the next meeting. And I was not even aware that it was sent out.
Is the applicant here? Can you just please give your name and address for the record?
Of course. Mr. President, I'm Kelly Allen, appearing tonight on behalf of the applicant. I've got representatives from the company here. Councilwoman Banks, we did, of course, apply to the city, and I've got the full application here. I see that Ms. Jackson put together a letter resulting from our application, and we're ready to go tonight. These folks are really kind of anxious to get open, and they've got the necessary approvals from liquor control, so we'd like to go forward tonight if at all possible. I can answer any questions that you might have.
Councilman Hicks.
So for my colleagues, this was discussed in council president meeting this past Thursday. And the one thing that I wanted to lift was that this was being transferred from an already existing business that was in operations. So it went through all of the necessary departments prior to be a viable business with a liquor license. The only thing outstanding at that time was building sign-off, but all of the other departments throughout the city had already gone through and reviewed and gave their sign-offs to move forward. So at that time during the president's meeting, we decided to bring this before council with the understanding that there was going to be a conditional item because at that point, again, building hadn't done their due diligence. So what I would ask is that the petitioner had a viable activity that's coming up soon. And, we want to make sure that we're doing, the best we can to support maintaining that business here in Southfield. So it's your pleasure, but I just wanted to lift that additional information that was discussed during the meeting.
And the final inspection is scheduled tomorrow with our building department.
That's correct.
But Ms. Banks, you have the floor.
Thank you, and I'm going through this real fast, and again, we just received it late this afternoon.
Okay.
So even though the packet was sent out, I'd like to request Council President and Pro Tem, if we don't have this information, and if it's not readily available at the meeting, these items shouldn't be put on the agenda. I apologize, I didn't bring it to the attention earlier than, I didn't read my material earlier, but let me just go through this to see if I have any questions. Does this particular location have any outstanding debt to the city? Like, is the water bill paid, the tax bills, et cetera, Ms. Allen?
Yes, they do not have any outstanding obligations there. When it went through departmental review, some of those were brought to our attention, and Mr. Tolston, who is the owner of the applicant, did come and pay everything. Treasury's paid, water's paid, all utilities are paid, everything's paid.
Okay, and just so you know, also for the future, council, usually we have a letter that states that within here, and I don't see that either, so. Do we have confirmation that all that's been paid?
I will turn to Mr. Zorn, and while he answers that question, if the applicant is here, if you want to come up, we'd love to meet you if you're here. And also just for clarification, I was not at the meeting on Thursday. Councilman Hicks sat in for me, but I believe this is the old or the former Duo location that has closed.
Right.
So
if you'd like, I can make a real short description of what's going on here. James R. Tolston III is the member of our applicant entity, which a little cleanup matter, it's called Tri-State Entertainment Group. It's listed in your letter as Hospitality Group. It's Tri-State Entertainment Group. He is ill and could not get here tonight. So tonight I have his two general managers. This is Gerald Greer. This is Eric Kipps. And this is a transfer of ownership only. This is the Duo Lounge that has been there for many years. And Mr. Tolston has purchased the business and from the former owner, YBE Group, Food Group. And the Michigan Liquor Control Commission has approved a conditional license for this applicant, which means that once they get municipal approval, not required by the state law, but required by your ordinances, that they would be able to open. And what Mr. Tolston is probably well known to some of you. He is the consummate businessman. He has been active in auto supply. He's got his own business, and then he's also been involved in the cannabis industry. Mr. Greer has been working at Duo for 7.5 years or so, as has Eric. So Mr. Tolston doesn't have any direct involvement in the restaurant business, but he has surrounded himself with the people that have made it successful in the past, and they will be staying on, working for Mr. Tolston. So it is just a transfer of ownership. All departments except building has signed off. I think the appointment is tomorrow afternoon, and we've done, I think, everything that has been asked of us by the city, and we are hopeful, despite the fact, Ms. Banks, if you have further questions, I'm happy to answer anything that you have. But we are hopeful that we can get this approved tonight. They've got an opening scheduled in April.
And I did get confirmation that all the taxes are paid up from our deputy city treasurer.
That's
So,
correct.
Mr. Zorn, I don't want to cut you off, Councilman Banks, but did you want to add anything to this? And while Ms. Banks quickly reviews the information.
In our discussion on Thursday during President's meeting, the only piece of information that was presented as incomplete was the inspection of the building, which was scheduled just a few days before last Thursday's meeting. I apologize, you don't have the date of the request, but it is scheduled for tomorrow. One of the concerns is we don't have a regular meeting for until April 7th, and that is a committee of the whole.
Right.
So our next regular meeting is the 14th.
21st.
I'm sorry, the 21st, because the Passover and Easter, et cetera. My statement Thursday was, look, we say we're open for business, we're a business-friendly community. The Dual Restaurant was a very well-received restaurant. It's unfortunate what happened. We want to have more independent table linen restaurants in the community. This, what we have to do. And in the perfect world, we'd say, you know what, go back and get that inspection. The operation was up and running until last November? May, yeah. And we just want to keep it going.
Okay. Do you need more time? We have other questions. Councilman Brightwell?
Obviously, I wasn't in the Thursday meeting, but what is the urgency and what is the time sensitiveness? And so what happens if it's not approved? Is there any, what's the sense of urgency here?
Well, I can say that the sense of urgency is that Mr. Tolston has been paying rent for several months because of the way that the business closed. He was required to work with the landowner and put a deal together that would enable him and this team to continue to operate Duo. The application was filed with the city in February, and it seems to me that it has been through all of the appropriate steps, and really the urgency is just these folks that want to get open. He has got a tentative grand opening schedule. Of course, he can't open until the city says he can open, but he's got it scheduled for April 19th, and it's been a long road for these guys to get to where we are today, both with the landlord entity and the prior owner and the courts. So that is the urgency, if you can call it urgency.
Okay. My question was just, I'm familiar with it from a news standpoint. My question was just from a standpoint of, is there any reason why we're here now and we weren't here last week? Or I'm out of the loop with respect to, from urgency standpoint. Were there any steps missed somewhere along the line? So what's going on?
I don't think so. I don't think any steps were missed.
Okay, well, and we have all the paperwork, and the only thing is missing is the inspection tomorrow?
That is my understanding, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Councilwoman Hoag?
Are we able to give approval subject to tomorrow's inspection or whenever?
That's what they're asking for. It's conditional approval, assuming they pass all their inspections.
And you indicated we should know Mr. Tolson. Why did you think that? His license, he's not from here.
No, he's from Michigan. He's got a home in Powers Township, but he also has
What
residence
made you think we should know him then?
in Florida.
I'm sorry?
I don't think I said that. If I did,
Yeah, you said, I'm sure you all know him.
Okay.
So I just didn't know.
You should know him. He's very nice.
I was thinking he was I just want to know. Okay, so this would be conditional upon, and I apologize, it's certainly not your fault, but we did just get the information earlier today. But, okay.
Okay. Councilman Banks, you have additional questions?
No, just a comment to Mr. Zorn. This was received February 6th.
This what?
This letter from Ms. Allen was received on February 6th.
Okay.
That we just now got. So, again, I don't know why this wasn't in the packet. I've known Ms. Allen for many, many years, and I want to say they probably hired the best attorney, and I know your T's are crossed and I's are dotted, and I'm comfortable with moving forward. But again, my concern is, you know, in order to make a decision, we have to have the material in front of us. And Ms. Allen, it's not your fault. You did submit it in time. It just wasn't given to council. Thank you.
Council, any other questions? All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve the conditional request for acquiring a liquor license, provided all of the remaining activities are approved.
Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Hicks, supported by Councilman Brightwell, to conditional approval of a liquor license request, transfer of ownership, as presented and discussed. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, council, very much.
Good luck tomorrow on that final inspection.
Yes, thank you.
All right, our next item is a library mechanical upgrade proposal with review of facility space and programming needs. Oh, I think
Good
all the
evening,
library needs
everyone.
fixed.
I'd like to introduce Chris Ozog from OHM Advisors, and he's going to assist me with this with all of his expertise. Have you had a chance to see this item?
Councilor, you've reviewed the item. Do you have any questions? Hopefully you've reviewed the item. This one
I
did
would be
come on
happy to
Friday.
go over any part of it.
Council have any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion. Councilman
Mr. Chair.
Hope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to move. You ready?
Yeah.
I move that we authorize OHM Advisors of Livonia to complete tasks 1 through 5 for professional design services in the amount of $277,500 with funding provided from the library building improvements.
Support. We'll give it to you. It has been moved by Councilwoman Hoag, supported by Councilman Hicks, to approve the library mechanical upgrades proposal with review of facility space and programming needs as presented. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Zorn.
All right, next we come to our public hearings and site plans. We have 4 public hearings for this evening. The first is a brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan for Middle Point Investment Group, located on Greenfield Road, right across the street at the corner of Evergreen and Civic Center.
Good evening, once again. Mr. President, Honorable Board. During my presentation, I failed to introduce our chairman of our Brownfield Authority, Mr. Lewis Poole. So I do just want to recognize him. He's here in support of our project today, and he's been an outstanding chairman for our Brownfield Authority for many years, and really as long as I've been involved with the Brownfield, Lewis has been on the board. So I just want to thank him for all of his support over the years. The city has received a request from the Middle Point Investment Group to approve their transformational brownfield plan. This transformational brownfield plan, as Mr. Zorn stated, is a big change that Representative Hoskins worked so hard to bring additional resources to the city through the changes that they've made in the Brownfield Enabling Act. And Hassan Jawad, who is the owner of the Middle Point Investment Group, is going to give a short presentation about his project and about the transformational brownfield and how it differs from a regular brownfield. We do have our experts here, our attorney and his consultant are here should we have any extra questions. But at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Jawad to come forward and give a presentation. And then after that, we'd like to request a public hearing and then hopefully vote on this request. So thank you.
And if you can please give your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Hassan Jawad, Middle Point Investment Group, 25248 Evergreen Road, Southfield, Michigan. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to make this short and be respectful of everybody's time.
I'm going to make it short.
So we're talking about the property across the street, the 8 1/4 acres at Evergreen and Civic Center. Quick high-level overview regarding the project. It's going to consist of 577 residential units, 42,665 square feet of first-floor commercial space in a mixed-use building. We've also got a mixed-use parking deck with commercial space and 826 parking spaces. So we're going to touch upon what is the transformational brownfield. And transformational brownfields are designed for projects that demonstrate significant economic and community impact, generating substantial job creation and long-term investment. The plans enable the transformation of underutilized or contaminated sites into vibrant developments that benefit the entire community. Now, as Shelley had mentioned, these are very different from a standard brownfield. The items that are eligible for the incentives include environment remediation, site preparation, infrastructure improvements, and vertical construction. Now, the key items that differ from your typical brownfield, which is usually only inclusive of a property tax capture, with the transformational brownfield, we have a state income tax capture, which captures income tax from new jobs created within the project's footprint. We have a withholding tax capture, which captures employee withholding taxes from jobs within the project site. We also have a sales and use tax capture, which captures sales and use tax revenue generated by construction activities with a sales tax exemption on construction materials. And then we obviously have the property tax capture. And then lastly, we have a Michigan corporate income tax, which captures corporate income taxes generated by businesses operating within the development. Some of the things that we have also included in the development is an affordable housing component, where we will be allocating 90 units towards affordable housing, along with workforce and market rate housing as well. We are also incorporating a component to our RFPs to the various trades that has a checkbox for whether or not they offer on-the-job training. So we are going to focus on being able to provide some on-the-job training for from some of the various trades that are doing work within the development for Southfield residents. The project timeline is basically roughly 3 years in change from beginning to end. Now, the significant part about this is the amount of the incentives that are being provided. The project cost is basically, it's a $210 million project, and we are looking to get our approval from the state next month for $131 million in incentive capture. Now, that's 20 years for the transformational brownfield components and 30 years for the typical TIF property tax capture. And before I go forward, they're no longer here tonight, but Senator Jeremy Moss and State Rep Jason Hoskins have really championed and supported this project from all the way back to when they were Southfield City Council members. They were instrumental in really pushing this project forward and getting it to where it is today. So they're not here, but I'd like to officially thank them as well. I'm going to end it with just some renderings regarding the site. And go ahead, sorry.
Again, a transformational brownfield adds all the elements to really enhance our city center district. And when our state legislature made changes to the brownfield, it allowed us to capture all these different taxes over the various timeframes. Mr. Jawad had submitted a significant amount of documentation to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. They've gone through a large vetting process where they've analyzed all the information that he's provided, and they'll come up with, they call it a safe harbor, to determine the taxes. So once his units are filled up, they'll be able to capture all those extra taxes that the people that are living and working at the facilities will be generating through this vetted documentation. And so it's an estimate of all their taxes. And then as the project is progressing with all the construction, they have a similar process. So the city of Southfield will not be putting out any dollars. Again, the brownfield is they pay out the cost, and it's repaid back through tax capture. So we would be, a large contributor as we are, giving up our taxes to see this project grow. During the interim of this process, the city will be receiving over $1.3 million in administrative fees and dollars that are going back into our revolving fund account, which we do reinvest back into this city. I think that was the main things I wanted to add. Do you have anything else?
No.
So if you'd like to open the public hearing, or if you want to ask questions, it's up to you. Thank you.
I don't know. All right. We will have a public hearing on this brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address for the record.
Good evening again, Council. P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. My telephone number is still 248-346-0439. I am so happy to know that finally that piece of property across from City Hall, right in our immediate area, is going to be developed. I think it's going to bring a lot of fresh and newness to our City Hall area. I know of this developer. I know when he has developed other property in the city of Southfield during the crash of real estate. He bought a prime piece of property. It was developed right down on Evergreen when people were pushing to say you should let these businesses go in. He was very specific. He did not allow check cashing places or pawn shops to go into some of his other developments, and he waited until he got the right businesses to go in there. And being so close to City Hall, I appreciate that as a long-term Southfield resident and an advocate in Southfield, but I am in total support. I think the renderings are beautiful for the first time. I think the renderings and the presentation was clear. You had the numbers lined up, you had the half a circle with all the different things. So I think that people are able to see it as opposed to reading a bunch of verbiage and not quite understanding all the terminology on the presentation. So I'm in total support of the Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan for Middle Point Investment Group, 26011 and 26011 Evergreen Road and 20100 Civic Center Drive. I am so happy. I can't wait. And can you imagine that once again Southfield is going to be trending in terms of the economic development boom? We've got Northland, and we have our city administrator, our mayor, our deputy administrator, the council president, and all of the team being responsible for that. And then here we come with another development, oh so close to City Hall, like right across the street. I can't wait. Thank you so much, and I hope you vote in favor of it.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to come and speak about this item? All right, seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Council, do you have any questions for the petitioner? Councilwoman Banks?
Thank you. To Mr. Jawad, I know you've worked extremely hard on this project and have been very patient, and I think your dream is about to come true, and it looks beautiful. I believe you presented this to council a few weeks ago, and I wasn't present. I just do have one question on the visual element. The upper left-hand side, there's 4 buildings. And there's also going to be a parking deck. So the 2 back buildings, I'm assuming that's going to be the housing and can you kind of explain sort of what it is?
Yes, I can give you a quick overview.
Thank you.
So the smaller rectangle that you see in front of Evergreen Road is actually a 5-story building with commercial space on the first floor and residential up above. Directly behind that is the parking deck with a carved out 8,800 square feet of commercial space on the first floor of the parking deck. As you go to the back, and you've got the 2 donut-shaped buildings. Those are residential on floors 2 through 5, and then the first floor again is also commercial space. So all the buildings that are within the development, including the parking deck, are mixed use.
Beautiful. And then just real quick, approximately, do you know how what is the size going to be of the apartments?
We have a range of roughly 500 square feet up into about 1,100 square feet.
And that would be the 2-bedroom, correct? The 1,100?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Brightwell?
Who will verify the cost and the what we are to be who will be doing that?
So as Ms. Freeman had noted, we actually went through a pretty extensive underwriting process with the state. We actually had to go through a third-party underwriting process through the Anderson Economic Group out of Lansing, and they have basically scrutinized all the numbers and determined what was reasonable.
Right.
And as part of this process with the state, to keep the numbers predictable as long as we are maintaining occupancy, there is a safe harbor component, which basically locks in our numbers, and I'm sure there will be some reporting from our end in regards to occupancy and so forth.
So the next step, should the City Council approve this item tonight, is we will send a resolution to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and they are going to look for approval from the Michigan Strategic Fund to approve this on April 22nd. Should everything get approved, they'll sign a reimbursement agreement with the state and the city and the developer, and then the Michigan Economic Development Corporation will monitor the project all along, and they'll determine, they'll be checking all the numbers on a regular basis.
Okay. And you said this is the Anderson Group? I'm sorry.
The Anderson Group was hired in the initial phase to do an analysis to make sure that this project penciled out and
Okay.
that everything was in order.
Okay. Well, it's just that whenever I've seen it, I've always familiar with a firm that would verify the numbers that are being presented. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman Haynes?
Just want to say thank you for your perseverance, your patience, and your vision on this. I remember a while back when you were going over some things with this some time ago, and this looks really great. It's going to be an asset to our city, and thank you to the Brownfield Development Commission too as well. This is a great thing for Southfield. Thank you for continuing with it, and all of the people that were behind this doing it. I'm totally in favor of it. Such a good thing to see this happening in Southfield.
Thank you.
Council, any other comments? I'll just add, we are familiar with your projects, and we are happy that, I know it's been a long and treacherous road to get here, and we're hoping that the state comes through as well, but we will do whatever we can to help support this project as well within means. Other than that, Councilman Hoag? Oh, you have a question, Councilman?
Oh, no, I was going to make a motion, but go ahead. Okay, Council, I move that the Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan for Middle Point Investment Group, 26011 and 26111 Evergreen Road and 20100 Civic Center Drive be approved.
Support.
Support.
It has been moved by Councilwoman Banks, supported by Councilwoman Haynes, to approve the Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan for Middle Point Investment Group as presented here this evening. Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. Next is PSLU 24-0023, special use request by David O. to renovate the building and site for use as a bar dog park at 15640 West 11 Mile Road. We're still not sure what beer the dogs drink, but let's see if they have an answer.
The first question is, did they survive this long?
They're still here in the back.
Okay, good. Again, through the chair, the special land use site plan review. Petitioner is David O. Address 15640 11 Mile Road. Existing zoning is neighborhood shopping, and they're here to renovate the building and site for use as a bar dog park. This is consistent with our future land use plan, which designates the site for local mixed use. It is a special land use in the neighborhood shopping district. This is the specific location. This was a former Ponderosa, and then it was a former Hydro Grow supply facility. They plan on fencing in part of the parking lot for their outdoor dog park. Some floor plans, space analysis. This would be the south elevation with the renovated facade and new fencing and some cool designs on the inside. But they have a nice brief presentation. These are some renderings showing inside and outside how they operate. So I'd like to invite the petitioners up here, go through their presentation very quickly.
Hi there, I am David O. I'm one of the owner-operators. Address is 15640 West 11 Mile Road.
Cody Williams, also one of the owner-operators. Address is 15640 West 11 Mile Road. Still learning it.
We will make this very brief since I know 2 weeks ago we were here, went through the same presentation, pretty in-depth. I know there were a lot of questions, but just as a quick recap, Barkside is an off-leash dog park bar. We first opened our first location in the city of Detroit in November 2023, so it's been just about a year and a half. We've been incredibly well received by the community. We have thousands of folks just in this area alone that travel all the way down to our first location. They're very excited for us to open a closer location in the city of Southfield. I'm just going to run through this. We have an indoor-outdoor facility, so whether it's cold, whether it's hot, the indoor facility will be able to handle both. Our staff members are trained in dog behavior, so they monitor the dogs as well to ensure a safe environment. We have a full bar, coffee, cocktails, TV, Wi-Fi. Lots of events, dog birthday parties, gotcha day parties, dog yoga, fitness classes. Again, safety is the most important priority for us, so we do vaccination requirements, we verify vaccinations. Again, we have staff that monitor the dogs as well. These are some of the entry requirements. I won't go through it in depth, but again, safety is the revolving theme for our dog entry requirements. Same here, safety. These rules are dictated to ensure the most safe environment. We both operate on a membership plan as well as daily pass plan. Humans without dogs can visit for free, so they can hang out with dogs and have a beverage. This is our first location, our indoor facility, our check-in area, our full bar, our outdoor area, and this is some renderings. That's me, and that's it. Any questions?
So I know that it was rushed, but to those who are watching and are still here in the audience, this was, as was previously discussed or mentioned, this did come before us in a study session about 2 weeks ago, and we, I think we spent an hour drilling you with questions and about fire safety and capacity limits and all the other questions that to do our due diligence. But because this is a special use request, it has to have a public hearing and come back before the council. So before council asks questions, we will have a public hearing, see if there's any other comments or questions, and then we will render a decision. So again, this is a public hearing, a PSLU 24-0023 special use request by David O. to renovate the building and site for use as a bar dog park at 15640 West 11 Mile Road. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address for the record. Please give your name this time as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pamela Gerald, also known as PG, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan 48037-0155. You know, the city of Southfield has some amazing real estate. And when I first came to Southfield, almost every aspect of our city was developed with a thriving business. And then the boom happened. And then a lot of businesses closed up. And we've got some very special and unique buildings and locations that have just not been thriving because a lot of the buildings are closed. So, as mentioned earlier with the young lady with the daycare, I'm just in awe of young men coming to our city, coming to that location on 11 Mile Road to open up this type of business. I think it's so cute. I think we need it in our city. I think that, in the famous words of Dr. Joy, we have to support our younger people because they are our flow. And flow stands for future leaders of the world. I'm amazed. I'm in support of this. And did I hear them say that you don't have to have a dog? Like a human can just come to the park and just kind of love on the other dogs? Okay, that would be awesome. That a human can come and love on a dog and hope and pray that for an anniversary or Christmas that they might get a puppy. Now, will you guys have puppies in these places that might need to be adopted? Because you might want to consider that. And I know a lot of people want the big Labrador retriever dogs, but some of us just want the really cute, cuddly dogs that you can hold like under your arm, like a Yorkie or Shih Tzu, Lhasa Apso mixed, you know. But you might want to consider having some puppies for adoption. But I'm in favor of this, and congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this? Or buy her a puppy? Not yet. I need to make sure there's no one else. All right, I don't see anyone else. Public hearing is now closed. You can come back up. Can you answer that question? And then we have questions from the council.
Yes, we partner with several shelters all around the city of Detroit, as well as neighboring communities, to have puppy adoption events that are in shelters. So yes.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman Cruz?
Yes, because when we met, we were in closed session. So since we're out here now, I just wanted to reassure residents that, number one, I believe you all said that we're not going to break the ordinance in terms of vicious dogs or anything like that, so that is correct.
Absolutely, yes. Safety is our number one priority.
Okay, very good. And can you just tell us real quickly about the type of, you're not using grass, right?
Correct. We are using what we call playground mulch. It's the same type of mulch that you'll find in children's playgrounds, where if children are using their hands, their feet, their bare hands, it doesn't cause any splintering. So in the same vein, we use that mulch for dogs' paws because no one wants a splintered dog paw.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Haynes?
Your anticipated opening day was when?
If everything goes well tonight, we're hoping for late June, July of this year.
Oh, okay, around my birthday. Oh, good. So please let us know.
Absolutely.
Ahead of time, and so we can support you there and be there. Okay. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman Brightwell?
Councilman Cruz made me think about this, and we covered it before. So what is your process of verifying that the dogs are healthy?
So whenever a dog is...
get their papers, so to speak.
Yes. So when a dog is registered, they are registered on our website. And during the registration process, the owner is required to upload records from the veterinarian. And then our staff goes through each and every single record that is uploaded to verify the health of the dog as well as the vaccination status of the dogs.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Of course.
Councilwoman Banks?
Thank you. I apologize, I wasn't present when you made the presentation. You mentioned that you are going to have a full bar, but on the communication it says seasonal craft beer and wine. So is it just beer and wine, or is it also liquor?
It is also liquor, yes.
Liquor. And I believe I heard you already have a liquor license?
We are in the process of transferring a license to the city of Southfield, working with Kelly Allen as well. So we'll be back in probably a month for the liquor license request.
Well, again, you got one of the best attorneys, so okay. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
All right, Council, any other questions?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we approve the special use request PSLU 24-0023 to renovate the building and site for use as a bar dog park at 15640 West 11 Mile.
Support. There's a lot of support there. All right. We have a motion by Councilman Hogue, supported by Councilman Cruz, to approve PSLU 24-0023. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And if anyone is out there that wants to buy a dog for my daughter who would like one, so I can go to this, to Barkside, please contact me and we will be in touch. But congratulations to you, and we're, yeah.
Yeah, I just, I didn't have a chance to put up the conditions, and I know that you made your motion subject to these, and I just wanted to mention that the hours of operation are limited from Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Right, so there will not be any late-night dog parties.
Thank you.
But congratulations, we look forward to seeing you back for that liquor transfer, and hopefully we can come to your ribbon cutting early in the season.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bring an
Right,
electronic
thank you.
dog.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is PZRODD 25-0001, a request to rezone 16400 JL Hudson Drive to an ODD, an overlay development district, and approve the site plan for their proposal and create a master development plan and agreement to permit the renovation and reuse of the vacant hotel for a mixed use, including apartments and support services for the new foster care, along with commercial and office uses. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, thank you. I won't repeat what you said, but it's up there on the screen.
All right.
It is overlay development district with underlying RS regional shopping zoning. Existing site, future land use are consistent with the proposed ODD. This is the current condition of the vacant former hotel and site. And this is the overall site plan for the new foster care. Floor plans, my understanding, and I'll have them correct, is there is going to be some private office suites on some of the upper levels. There will be some private retail and operations on the first floor. The rest will be transitional housing. And we have different breakdown counts and floor plans depending on what floor, 2nd through 12. And then we have an extensive landscaping plan and crime prevention through environmental design. Standards will be instituted to clean up the site, existing elevations. And with that, I know there's been extensive presentation on the operation, so I'm going to ask you to just do a quick overview, and then we do have to have a public hearing. We have our DDA director also that wanted to make a comment or two. Thank you. Go ahead, Sarah.
Good evening, Sarah Rennie. I'm an attorney. I'm also the Director of Compliance and Fund Development for the new foster care. I know that you've seen a pretty extensive presentation. I just want to highlight a few things. We're very excited about the transformational power of this development. Kids in foster care face incredible barriers. Over half end up homeless. 70% end up having been sexually assaulted either prior or during foster care. And ultimately what we do is we take these kids away from their support systems, whether that is necessary, when it's necessary, and sometimes prematurely, and we often then deprive them of every familial support. We stand in loco parentis for them, and then we release them into the community with absolutely no skills, including often not even documentation. So the new foster care provides wraparound services, employment, mental health, legal intervention for these kids. What we were not able to do, and what we realized is that that housing was simply not available. So this is a project that will provide 230 units of supportive housing for 50% of AMI and 45 units of affordable housing. And it's going to have a green roof, a community garden. We're going to have MSU Extension do nutrition classes in a community kitchen. My side will be doing vocational training and educational supports. And we'll have an integrated mental health, physical health, and dental clinic for the community as a whole. There will be office space on the 13th and 14th floors. At this point, it's unclear, and I think less likely that we're going to have for-profit businesses on the first floor on the common area, because we are looking at that as a community center and a community area that will help the dynamic change that's happening in that area.
And Ms. Lalone would like to make a brief statement before we open the public hearing.
My brief statement is I think I put a letter in the packet, and if you did not receive my letter of support, I can email it to you. Still learning how to put things together in the packets. But I am in support of this project. This is in our district on JL Hudson. It's across the street from the North Park apartments.
All right, so we will have open a public hearing now. This is a public hearing for PZR ODD 25-0001. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address for the record.
PG, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is still 248-346-0439. You know, God is in the blessing business. Isn't it awesome that all 3 of these public hearings, the businesses that they're bringing to these areas that have not been developed in many years is going to bring life to that area? We've got Henry Ford that basically just took over Providence Hospital, and you know they're going to be doing something. You have this proposed business. You have the doggy place. You have the place across the street. You have Northland. I mean, the blessings are getting to be really good in the city. But the only thing that I'm concerned about is she mentioned something about the center, so I'm hoping that she can restate what she was talking about. And when you say affordable housing, does this mean that the people that will have places within the new foster care ODD, Overlay Development District, that rent would be 30% of their income? Does that qualify as affordable housing? And if she could just expand on that. And then also, too, will it be a place where you can do a rental, like if someone wanted to rent it for a baby shower or have a fundraiser for, you know, something to do with the foster care? Is that going to be in this new development? And the rendering is beautiful. Thank you.
All right, anyone else who would like to speak to this item? All right, the public hearing is closed. If you can come up and answer that question, and then we have some questions from the council.
Thank you. Those are excellent questions. I hope I hit them all. I took some notes. We do plan, and we do have commitments tentatively for these to be projects-based Section 8. So the affordable housing is 80% of AMI. The supportive housing is 50% to 60% of AMI, and those are site-based Section 8 vouchers. So it's going to be 230 units, and with up to 30% of, the Section 8, there is usually some payment in addition to what Section 8 pays for required, but that is based on a calculation. The first floor is what we're referencing as the community center, as a sort of community gathering center. That's where the integrated mental, dental, and physical health center will be. That's where there's going to be a community kitchen, a cafeteria, and vocational and educational classes. And we do envision, particularly the classrooms, being available to the community for very low cost when not in use, because our project partner is My Side, and they will be also providing Head Start and early Head Start, and we have a sensory motor gym set up. That's where their offices will be. So they won't be using the educational classrooms except for when they're doing actually teaching. Did I miss any of them, the questions?
Nope, I think you got them all.
Okay. So I think that would be either the cafeteria, we're sort of in the infancy, the cafeteria community kitchen, or the classrooms would be most available.
Okay. And again, I know the council saw a presentation about this and went more in depth, and this is exciting because there is a need for this. I know it's late, but I wish we would have had the video to really show and showcase this property, but
do apologize next time.
It's okay. Council, any other questions? Councilwoman Banks?
Yes, and again, I apologize. I wasn't at the meeting when you made the presentation, so a few questions. You're talking 275 rooms?
Units, yeah.
Units?
Yes, they're apartments from studio to two-bedroom.
Okay. And this complex will house foster care individuals?
Youth who have aged out, which are 18 to 29, who are eligible under the definition of low income.
Okay, because you also mentioned Section 8 vouchers. So
Yes.
an 18-year-old can get a Section 8 voucher?
Yes, actually, there have been new ones specifically for this purpose, which is one of the ways we've been able to energize this. They're called family unification and vouchers, but they're also used for kids who have aged out, recognizing this problem. There had been, the status of those are a little in question, but as of the prior administration had actually initiated specific vouchers to support this. But even without those federal allocations, we have state commitment for that as well.
Okay. And is there another project similar to this somewhere in the area?
No, and what's exciting about this is, it's the old former Plaza Hotel, if you've seen it. It's had some challenges, and it's going to allow us to bring to Southfield the largest investment in youth aging out of foster care in the nation. We hope to be a pilot to show how this can be transformational for youth and really help folks live. These folks really reach the potential in ways they haven't, because we have failed them.
Okay. And then do we, I guess this would be to, I don't even know if our building director is still here. Do we have a report on the structure of this building?
Yes, we have done.
What, is it structurally sound, this building, this?
I'm happy to answer that. It is. We have done environmental testing. It is structurally sound. We are, that was all very important pre-work that we did.
Okay, so the city does have paperwork saying that it's structurally sound, I guess, to our city planner, because I don't see the building director here.
Well, I will say that we've been working very closely, all the departments, with their investigation. I know the building department, our fire marshal, and others have been, this has been going on for about 18 months, doing the inspections and reviewing the reports. So I think Tom, who was representing 2 weeks ago, mentioned the structural analysis.
Yes, and it has been provided, the structural analysis. There are other remediation issues, but I will say that we have evaluated that and found that it's feasible.
Just to assure you, Ms. Banks, our building department, before they offer any certificate of occupancy, is going to have all their inspectors involved on the final build-out.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think, I don't want to belabor it, but I think your question is geared towards the comments we've heard where you have to go in with a hard hat, which I think is still true.
That is correct.
But it is structurally sound. I do know that they have had those reports. I did speak, I think it was former Chief Menifee went through it as well, and it's structurally sound, but right now, you still have to wear a hard hat when you're inside. So,
Okay.
because it hasn't been.
It's been abandoned since 2012, yeah.
And I thought at one time we were told by the fire department that they wouldn't even go on to the upper floors because they were not safe.
I think that's different, and forgive me, I don't mean to interrupt. It's not that it's not structurally sound. There is debris, there are things that might make it unsafe, but it's not the structural integrity.
Okay, thank you.
Council, any other questions? No. Councilman Hoke?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we approve the request to rezone PZRODD 25-0001 to the JL Hudson Drive property to ODD Overlay Development District, approve the site plan for the proposal along with any other special conditions given by the planning department, and create a master development plan and agreement to permit the renovation and reuse of the vacant hotel for mixed use, including apartments and support services for the new foster care.
It has been moved by Councilwoman Hoag, supported by Councilman Haynes, to approve PZR ODD 25-0001 with our recommended resolution and the information that is on the screen by our city planner. Any other questions or discussion? I just want to add that it was mentioned, this is innovative, this is the one of a kind in the nation, and hopefully this will help those who have aged out of foster care on the perfect path to being model citizens. All right, any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Mr. President.
Motion passes. Yes.
I move that, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 1809.
Support. It has been moved by Councilwoman Hoag, supported by Councilman Cruz, to introduce ordinance 1809. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck to the petitioner. We are looking forward to this great project. All right, our final public hearing for this evening is a recommendation of denial of renewal and revocation of liquor licenses. Mr. Treasurer, are you introducing this item?
Deputy, actually.
Deputy Bettis, welcome.
First thing I wanted to actually echo the theme that was started at the meeting in terms of recognizing special people in our midst and women that have made a difference, and especially for Women's Month coming up. And our honorary deputy treasurer has been selected as one of the women of the year by special recognition by Oakland County. So congratulations to her. Allison Bettis.
Congratulations.
And with that,
Congratulations.
All right, we are on the final step of our pursuit to make sure that the liquor license holders in our community are paying their obligations in the timely and appropriate way. We've been through that process with you, and we're at the point where the people who still owe, and I think we're down to 5 parcels, and if you have any, if you are willing to open the public hearing, then any of them can come and speak to why they should not be on the list. I will tell you that some people have given us checks that just haven't been processed yet, and so we do want them to stay on the list just in case, but everything is all good. And then there's probably 3 that just haven't responded.
All right, so just for clarification, this is a public hearing for those property owners, whether it's a personal property tax or regular city tax, that have not paid and have current liquor licenses, and the council will determine if we will send a recommendation to the Liquor Control Commission to pull those licenses or not renew those licenses because of outstanding taxes. As we just heard, there's the list has shrunk since it was originally presented, which is nice, and this will become an annual exercise through the Treasurer's Department, and we want to make sure that those that have special privileges, such as serving alcohol, do have are keeping up their end of the agreement by paying all the taxes. So we will open up the public hearing. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Please give your name and address for the record.
PG, P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-07, 48037-0155. You might want to look over at our city administrator, because it looked like on 2 occasions he was going to try to say something, and I thought he was getting ready to say something, and I was looking forward to it. I think that the treasurer's office and city council should name these businesses that are not doing right by our city. It should be made public. And for someone to have a liquor license and not pay what they're supposed to is kind of similar to maybe an elected official that doesn't pay or close their campaign and pay the county.
Please stick to the item.
I know, but I'm using it as a parallel, and I think that we should put an ordinance in place that says if a company with the liquor license owes some kind of taxes or water bill and they don't pay it, they should have a certain amount of time to pay it, and it should be automatically revoked. I mean, the city needs their money because we have operating costs. The county needs their money. They have operating costs. And if the citizens have to pay their taxes, everyone else should have to pay their taxes. So anybody that's on that list that hasn't paid, I would be in favor of them getting their license revoked and let them try it again. Thank you so much. Great job to our treasurer's office for getting the coins.
Is there anyone else? All right, public hearing is now closed. A legal notice for public hearing was published in the Southfield Sun, and I don't know if you want me to name those businesses or just give the addresses. I don't
think that's needed. It is in the public record. All of their information is in the public record, which is available online. This is a result of the law, the ordinance that is already in existence and has been for some time, that says that the council can recommend, and the state law says recommend only, that anybody, that council can recommend to the Liquor Control Commission that their license not be renewed or be revoked. And that's exactly what this entire process is doing. And so all of that information is available publicly. And other than that, I think if the council has any other questions.
Our city attorney wants to make a comment.
Thank you, Council President. So I just want to make a clarification. So as the only person that spoke said, we should have a law. With everything that Ms. Bettis, Deputy Treasurer, is doing is from our ordinance, section 7.194. 7.194 that talks about the procedure for recommendation of non-renewal of a liquor license. So the only concern I would have is that subsection 4 says that all such hearings, which we're having right now, is that the licensee shall have the legal right to defend. Okay, so they didn't present themselves here, but then the city council has to prepare a written statement of its findings, and so we have to put that into record. Just like if I was in court and it was people of the city of Southfield versus John Doe. John Doe doesn't show up to defend himself. The judge is going to make a ruling, and that ruling is going to say in the matter of the city of Southfield versus John Doe not appearing, and that would be the judge's opinion. So I think we do need to at least say the address of that location, because I don't know if the name is going to be different as far as who is the actual property owner, but that location, that address is where that liquor license is being held. And because the Michigan Liquor Control Commission wants a formal finding by this council, we have to at least say that. So I think it would be best at least at minimum say the address.
And okay, thank you. And the council does have a recommended resolution that lists the parcel number, the owner name, the LLC business ID number, and the property address. Is that good enough in the resolution, or you still want us to speak it out?
So my only concern is it says that it's a public hearing. So I would advise to say it on the record because it's a public hearing, so it could be in the minutes.
Okay.
Should they come back and say whatever they want to say, and say I didn't get a chance to defend myself.
Okay, so, Ms. Bettis, would you like to have the honors?
As soon as I can find my glasses.
Would the parcel number suffice?
Parcel number could suffice, or the address.
Because some are property and some are real,
Well, the only.
personal, I mean.
You indicated 2 dropped off though, so we need to know.
She doesn't know the check secretary, so.
Two people, two parcels have made payment arrangements with us, so that's the reason why. So we're down to really 3 of those that haven't
So if you can
responded at all.
If you can give the parcel number and the address,
Yes, sir.
that would be
That would
helpful.
suffice.
And the business license, too, is he?
No, I said that would suffice.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sufficient.
Perfect.
Do you have to list? the
Madam
dollar
Deputy,
amount?
we have it here.
It's in our packet.
So when we motion it, we'll say it. We'll give it.
And also, I would, as much as I love credit, and thank you so much, the Council Finance Committee directed this action to the Treasurer's Office, and Ms. Banks and the mayor were the point guards on that particular item, so.
Yes.
I would just like to say thank you to the Treasurer's Office. I know this was not an easy task. We have a lot of licenses, and I think you did an excellent job, and you've also set the template for future years. And I'm glad to see that the list did dwindle down, and who knows, maybe out of this, we might get 3 liquor licenses back that we can then reallocate to someone else in the city. So thank you very, very much.
Yes.
I was just gonna clarify, we already checked into that. We don't get the licenses back.
We do not.
We don't, yeah.
It can go into escrow. It'll go into escrow, but it takes some time. So if there's a non-renewal, they can still own that proprietary right in that liquor license. If it's a revocation, it can go into escrow, and then there's a time period where I think it has to sit in escrow for X amount of time. So it is a long process.
Correct, but if during that escrow period, if nothing happens, and if it was a city license issued, it will come back to the city. That's how it happened in the past. I don't know, maybe the laws have changed. But the license came back to the city after a certain time period.
Right.
Thank you.
Certain time period it was revoked.
Right, Councilman Hoag?
No questions? We ready to move?
We're ready.
Okay. Mr. President, I move that we approve the resolution whereby we recommend to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission that it deny renewal or revoke any license-related permit to such licensees to the following addresses: 28949 Northwestern Highway, 27027 Northwestern Highway, 29555 Northwestern Highway, number 312, 26555 Telegraph, and another location at the same address, 26555 Telegraph.
Support. It has been moved by Councilman Hoag, supported by Councilman Cruz, for the recommended resolution to the Liquor Control Commission to deny renewal or revoke licenses related to, or related permit for the addresses and the licenses at those addresses as presented. Any further questions? All those in.
If I could just mention the final 2, that the same address really, that's the one that has the payment arrangements with us right now. So if we make it that, as long as the payment arrangements are completed, then we would have them removed from the recommendation to the Liquor Control Commission.
Which is part of the resolution.
Right. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Council President, who supported that?
Councilman Cruz. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are now up to the council portion of the meeting. Councilwoman Hoag, do you have anything for this evening?
Nothing for me.
Councilwoman Banks?
I have nothing, thank you.
Councilman Hicks?
Nothing this evening.
Councilman Cruz?
Nothing for me.
Councilwoman Haynes?
Yes, I do have something. I'm a bit concerned about some of these businesses have signs and things in their window that are very unattractive, and I don't know what's the problem with it in reference to the ordinance, but it's very unattractive. One of them specifically came before us and said they would not do that, and I did talk to Deputy McCrane about it, but I've been seeing other businesses a little bit short of saying ghetto, it looks horrible. Some of these businesses they do not make Southfield look well. There's windows with, you can't even see inside. It's just boards, and this is quite frequently I've been seeing it.
So we do have a sign ordinance that does address signs within windows as well. You would address those concerns to the building department, and they can investigate and tell you what the...
Okay, and in regards to that as well, when code enforcement does go around, do they pick up things like that too? Or is it a possibility we can start getting them to do that? Because this is...
You can incorporate that type of identification and ask that they report those to the building department. Occasionally, we'll have things that, sorry. Occasionally, we will ask the code enforcement to look for certain things, and over a week and a half, 2 weeks, the officers in each of their sections will report those back to the building department.
Okay, thank you. And the other thing is the library has quite a few programs in regards to gardening. We also have the Southfield Garden Club, and I would like to inform our residents about that because there's clear definition on composting, gardening, anything that would help you beautify your garden. I think it would be very helpful to look at those places and to get the information. And there's also a master gardening training class that will teach you the proper way to compost and talk about Michigan native flowers, all of those things that our residents can take advantage of. I just wanted to inform you of that. And I'll be sure to say the rest another time. Thank you.
Councilman Brightwell?
Yes, I have for veterans. The Lakeshore Legal Aid is offering an expungement clinic on April the 10th at the Dingle Hospital downtown Detroit. The expungement is something where you're able to clean up your record and clear your record of numerous small criminal things that might have happened in the past, and this is a case where the legal aid people will assist you in cleaning up your record. The only thing I have right here now is a website, but if you will reach out to me here at City Hall, I can give this to you or I'll send it to you. And also I will have the flyer printed, and we have some posted in the drop box just outside of the old neighborhood office as you come into City Hall. But it's April 10th, and you have to register by April the 7th. And as I always said, the things I talk about are primarily for veterans, but if you know a veteran, just pass the word on. And I've learned since I've been here that the word definitely spreads with respect to veterans' activities. And one of the more popular items that I've spoken of is the Library of Congress and the Veterans History Project. I've heard from numerous people on council and also here in the city how they have utilized the Veterans History Project, and they use it as a historical item for them to learn about World War II, World War I, the Vietnam War. But that's the Library of Congress, the Veteran History Project. The other item I want to talk about for veterans, and also this deals with understanding Alzheimer's and dementia. This is something that's being offered by the Alzheimer Association is being offered April the 7th in Oak Park. And there's a number here also you have to register. I do have a contact here for registering. 248-592-1155. That's being offered by the Alzheimer Association. And it'll be offered in Oak Park on the 7th of April. And then again, since I've been doing these things for veterans for quite a while, the big thing about this is that pass the word on. Just pass the word on. There are things happening for veterans, and everybody know. A lot of people know of veterans from a family member, a neighbor, or just a friend. So, with respect to that, thank you very much. And or if you have additional questions, just reach me here at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have one announcement because if I wait till our next meeting, it will be over. But if you go to the city's website, the Southfield Planning Department is inviting residents to participate in 3 upcoming Your Voice, Your City, Your Future public engagement sessions focused on the sustainability as part of the Sustainable Southfield initiatives. You will learn about city projects that promote sustainability, and you can be part of the conversation to keep Southfield environmentally conscious, economically prosperous, and socially equitable community. There are 3 different sessions. You have to RSVP, and families are encouraged to attend. There will be children's activities and other information. You can call the Southfield Planning Department at 248-796-4156 or go to the city's website and social media to find out more information. And thank you to those who are still in the audience and watching this, as this has been a very long meeting. We do appreciate resident participation. Mr. Administrator.
I have no items this evening. Thank you.
All right. Madam Attorney.
I have nothing further to add, thank you.
Madam Clerk.
I have nothing to add, thank you.
Mr. Treasurer.
Mr. President,
Yes.
as allowed under the Open Meetings Act, I move that we go into a closed session so that we can discuss strategy, negotiation sessions connected with the negotiations of a CBA.
Support. It has been moved by Councilwoman Hoag, supported by Councilwoman Banks, that we will go into a closed session pursuant to Public Act 267, Section 7, MCL 15.268C, as discussed. Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, thank you. Councilwoman Banks?
Yes.
Councilman Brightwell?
Yes.
Councilman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hicks?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hoag? Yes. Council President Mandelbaum?
Yes. All right. Thank you. We will now adjourn into our recess, I guess.